Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, pacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checkered flags wave, dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave, dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. 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 Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, pacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checkered flags wave, dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave, dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. 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 Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, pacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checkered flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, box flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here with the Wheel to Wheel Racing League live from Auto Club Speedway here this evening for what will be another amazing night of racing action here with the Wheel to Wheel Racing League drivers here this afternoon. Man, this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be another absolutely amazing show here for each and every one of these competitors. They'll be looking to try to park themselves up and into the Auto Club Speedway victory lane as we'll get them all locked and loaded, ready to rumble, ready to go to battle here in this one. As Jackson Branscombe in the chat says, "What's up, Peacemake? What's up, Peace? What's up, brother? How are you, Jackson? How are you doing this afternoon, my boy? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Sunday night as here we go, ready to set them loose, ready to go to battle. Here in this one is starting on the pole in the Wheel to Wheel Racing League number 34 ride. It is the AG's Designs ride of Mr. Aiden Lucas, who will start in the pole position here this evening. To his outside in the Racers for Christ, number 16, it's Matthew Wood, who will start there in position number 2. Starting in that third spot in the Rush Hour Karting, number 31, it is Joseph Smith. And to his outside in the Fish Speed Brakes, number 57 is Grant Applegate, rounding out our top 4. Starting back in the 5th position in the Bass Pro Shops Club, number 51 ride, that is Wyatt Mickelson. To his outside in the number 32 machine, that is Nick Biddy. Starting in position at number 7 on the Speedway in the number 5 ride, it's the Time Machine of Nicholas Wheeler. Nicholas Wheeler in the 5 ride, starting there in 7th. To his outside will be the number 67 of Jack Beauty. Starting in position number 9 in the 45 ride is Tim Abril. Abril will start there in the 45 ride. Are some of these names correct, chat? I thought the 5 ride was not Nicholas Wheeler. Is the 5 ride not Xavier Rugglebruggy? The 45, is that not it is Abril and Wheeler. When did these guys change their names? TJ Ivy starting there in the 24 ride. Stephen Blevins, at least in the 51 machine. Jaden Browder starting there to his outside in position number 12. Caleb Holloman, Landon Burbage, our top 14 out there on the Speedway. And then we see the 23 machine of Austin Thompson. Then we see Ryan Haller, Jace LaForte, Brian Matthews, Michael Durham Jr., Jaden Porter, our top 20 out there on the Speedway. Logan Perriman, Trent Johns, Virgil Perriman, Austin Guerrero, Lucian Thompson, Evan Stewart, Chess Hamby, Joe David, Jacob Lee, Jason Bogarts, Darren Engler, Michael Potter Jr., Mike Corriveau, Jordan Fisher starting back in 34th with Nick Jensen there to his back bumper, bringing up the rear of the field back in that 35th position here in this one. As Anna in the chat, what's good, Anna? Anna says, let's go, Landon. Cheering on Landon Burbage here this evening. As Jackson says, going all right, won every race in a Dirt UMP Modified League and lost one race and came second somehow, lost the championship, got robbed. Oh, brother, that is rough. That is rough. That is definitely not very fun. As yeah, the 5 is supposed to be Xavier Rugglebrugge. I feel like these guys may have found the SDK live timing driver app, and I think they've changed their names here, or someone's changed their names on them. As, yeah, I don't know. Nicholas Wheeler is definitely Xavier Rugglebrugge. The 45 ride is definitely Wells. 24 machine is not TJ Ivy either, so I don't know where these names are coming from unless they got substitute drivers here this afternoon. That could be the only difference. Maybe they got substitute drivers out there on the racetrack that we were just not made aware of here this afternoon, chat. That's for certain. I'm not too sure how that came up. I don't know where this is, as we'll have to wait and see. We'll see how this kind of gets played out here in this one, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to rumble, though, nonetheless, as here we go. Green flag is in the air as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation, as the 34 of Aiden Lucas sees that green flag flying. Great launch and great push to his back bumper as the 31 right at Joseph Smith going to push him out in front where he's got the edge down in through corner number 1 and 2. And man, here we go. This is what we love about Auto Club Speedway. 2 wide, 3 wide, a little 4 and 5 wide through these corners, and each and every one of these drivers trying to navigate their way to the front of the field, trying to take these big runs, trying to race their way towards the front. But a lot of times, if you push a little too hard, you can burn your tires up. You want to try to save a little bit of tire, but still carry that speed and try and put yourself up and into victory lane here this evening, as Aiden Lucas will lead lap number 1 here this evening. Matthew Wood in position number 2 with Joseph Smith rounding out our top 3, but Smith looking out to the inside, trying to steal that second spot away from the Outlier Speed Company number 16 ride. Looks like he can't quite get the run that he was looking for out of core number 2. You'll fall back into line, as Andrea Sue says, let's go Jordan. Cheered on Mr. Jordan Fisher. Jordan having to start back deep in the field, as hang on to a Virgil Pearman sideways up the racetrack. Look out, 18 ride going around here. No caution flag as of yet. It is still clean and green, and it will stay that way, as we do see Joe David having to serve a black flag penalty. Looks like Joe David has earned himself a black flag. It looks like, oh man, Landon Burbage may have gotten one here as well. Let's play this back. Is Landon slow on the racetrack? Oh no. Looked like he was coming down pit road trying to serve this black flag. Looks like he gets in too hot, though, misses pit road entry, and luckily enough, does not get absolutely destroyed right there to that pit wall. Unfortunately, though, still loses a ton of time and a lot of speed there. Has to build that all the way up and still has to serve this penalty down pit road. So he's going to end up going back down pit side. This will more than likely put him a lap down, as we did see Jaden Browder have to serve a penalty, and so didn't Joe David as they roll back out onto the racetrack. Landon finally down pit side here in that number 2 machine. Now, I think for Landon Burbage, he may end up going a lap down out there on the speedway, as Aiden Lucas out in front. Aiden's got the top spot, man. Our pole sitter looking strong here this evening is our top 4, all right where they started out there on the speedway. Nick Biddy's worked his way up and into that 5th position as he's navigated his way around the 51 to Wyatt Mickelson. Mickelson, though, looking to try to battle back to his outside. He's looking to try to jump up and steal that 5th spot back away from that 32 ride, as he did see Landon Burbage rolling back out onto the speedway here. He's down on the apron, unfortunately, for that Princess Towing number 2 ride. He does fall a lap down out there on the speedway, as Anna says, hello, everyone. Hello, Anna. How are you, my girl? As Ronnie says, good evening, Peacemaker, and all the rest of the gang. Good evening, Mr. Stewart. How you doing? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Sunday and now ready to see some wonderful racing action as you see Evan Stewart in that Fish Speed Breaks number 37 ride just outside our top 25 here, rolling back in that 26th position as of right now. We have seen Jordan Fisher clipping his way through this traffic here right now, kind of stuck in the middle though of a little bit of 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide racing action as he's trying to work his way through a lot of traffic and trying to race his way up towards the front of the field here right now. We're still waiting on word. Does anyone know? Did these guys just change their name to mess with us or to mess with some other drivers here this evening? Or do we have some substitute drivers out there on the racetrack for TJ Ivey in the 24, Nicholas Wheeler in the 5 ride, and the 45 of Tim Averill out there as well? I'm not sure if these are substitute drivers or if Wells and Xavier Roggelbrugge, if they just changed their name to have some fun here this afternoon, seeing with TJ Ivey, which is I'm trying to think of who was in that 24 ride. I'm drawing a blank right now, but definitely not that name. There's definitely not an Ivy name there before, so that's going to be interesting. Ivy is in the 24, is subbing for Murphy. Okay. I thought that was okay. Yeah, so Murphy. All right, so we do have a couple substitutes here. That is good to know. I was not made aware of this, so I just thought they were trying to pull one over on us. So I'm assuming the same thing goes for Nicholas Wheeler out there, substituting for Xavier Ruggelbrugge, and for Wells, he's got Tim Averill in behind the wheel there of the 45 Fish Speed Breaks number 45 machine ride here this afternoon. So a couple substitutes, and I mean, so far, man, the subs are doing pretty decent. I mean, you look at TJ Ivey there in Murphy's ride, rolling in that 7th position. Xavier Ruggelbrugge's got Nicholas Wheeler rolling in that 9th position on the racetrack. And for Wells, I mean, Abrams right there just on the outside of the top 10 looking in here, sitting back in the 11th spot on the Speedway. Does have a Fish Speed Breaks teammate, the 09 of Jace LaForte, right there with him as Jace trying to work his way up towards the top 10 as the 09 ride rolls back there in that 12th position. Michael Durham Jr. in that still 0-0 ride in 13th. That's Caleb Holloman, and that 74 ride, new looking ride here as the Buckleys. Number 74 of Jaden Porter. Man, we had some Buckleys here last week. I feel like he's pulling one over on me. We talked about Buckleys last week, and now here he's got the Buckleys ride rolling out there on the Speedway, man. Buckleys, man, it works magic. It is a beautiful thing. Says it tastes awful, and it works. It does taste awful, and it does work as he sits there rolling in that 15th position right now, trying to get the Buckleys ride up into the front here, trying to put himself into a good position, a good finish here this evening. He's got Austin Guerrero, Austin Thompson right there behind him. Jordan Fisher's now worked his way up and into the 18th position. So for Mr. Jordan Fisher, man, he has been working his way through the field, starting all the way back in 33rd here this afternoon, I do believe, is where he technically started. And for Jordan Fisher, he's up 17 positions and now in to the 18th spot on the Speedway, man. Absolutely incredible run going here for that number 39 ride. Actually, I mean, technically it shows that he started back in 35th here, so started at the rear of the field for Jordan Fisher, and now here he is just rolling his way up through all this traffic, about mid-pack now, seeing if he can try to chase down some of these drivers inside the top 10, try to come away with a little bit of stage points, as we do see Matthew Wood jump up and take that race lead. Joseph Smith in position number 2. Wyatt Mickelson now in 3rd as Aiden Lucas falls back into that 4th position here on the Speedway. Nick Biddy sits there in 5th as Grant Applegate falls outside of our top 5, and right there behind him, Jack Pulte and that 24 at TJ Ivey trying to race their way up towards the front as Ivey rolling down to the inside. He'll move that 24 ride up and into the 7th position, but Pulte's going to battle back there to his outside, looking to try to keep on the battle here as we do see Ryan Haller working the Mohawk ride up inside of our top 10 out there on the Speedway. As the Mohawk machine now in to that 10th spot on the Speedway as Nicholas Wheeler right there in front of him. That's the substitute for Mr. Xavier Rungelbrugge out there on the Speedways. Matthew Wood, though, out in front. He's got that race lead, and he does see a little bit more lap traffic here in front of him. That is Joe David. Unfortunately, you had to serve a black flag penalty, from last week, just in front of our race leaders for Landon Burbage. That is news that he does not want to see because he's trying to keep himself in that lucky dog position. He wants to stay as the first car, or the only car, one lap down, trying to work his way into the lucky dog here at our stage break. We'll have to wait and see because obviously he wants to see the 6 stay on the lead lap. I don't think it's going to happen. It looks like Matthew Wood's going to catch up to him in a quick hurry. And, you know, our stage breaks at lap number 30 and lap 65 here. We're clicking down to that lap 30 marker in a quick hurry. And for a lot of these drivers, I mean, it's going to be tough, man. You do see Joe David. Here comes our race leader right down to his inside. Unfortunately for Joe, I'm not sure if he's going to have much there. And you do see Jaden Browder not too far away as well here. Now, he does have a bit of a gap, about 8.5 seconds between himself and our race leaders out there on the Speedway. So for Jaden Browder, at least, he's got 17, 18 laps, trying to keep these guys back there at bay, trying to keep himself on the lead lap here in this first stage. And now it's going to be between potentially that 6 ride of Joe David and the number 2 ride of Landon Burbage for that free pass spot. Landon's kind of back here. He's just entering quarter 1 and 2. Joe David is about 5.8 seconds in front of him. So Landon's either going to have to hope Joe David continues to fall back here, continues to fall off the pace even more throughout this run, or he's going to have to pick up that pace and try to track down this Big D's Heating and Cooling number 6 machine out there on the Speedways. Here comes a big move for the 57 ride. Applegate looks down to the inside, trying to steal that 4th position away from Aiden Lucas, and he makes it work. And now quickly going after the 51 ride of Wyatt Mickelson for position number 3. He'll slide right up in front of that 51 ride, but up towards that outside fence, has to roll the throttle a little bit. Here comes Wyatt Mickelson battling back to his inside as Joseph Smith does take the race lead away from Matthew Wood, as it looks like Wood and Smith gonna duke it out here at the front of the field. But we're only halfway through our first stage of the day, and being halfway through this first stage still means that we got a lot of laps left to go. A lot of laps left for these guys to duke it out, to battle. Your tires can still fall off. You can still find yourself into a tight position late in this race and late in this run to the end of our first stage. And if you're trying to earn those stage points, sometimes take it maybe a little bit easier, saving a little bit tighter, having something left in the tank for those closing laps could be the make or break difference maker between getting stage points or not here this evening. But our top 10 right now, really our top 8 kind of broken away here from the rest of the field. Smith continues to lead the way as Bill Fisher in the chat says, long race, Jordan, pick your spots, take your time, work your way up there. And I think he's doing an absolutely fantastic job at that, as Jordan Fisher has now worked his way around Tim Abril, the substitute driver for one of his teammates here this evening, and now has another teammate right there in front of him that he's looking to track down of Jace LaForte. And our top 10 not too far out of grabs here is Jordan Fisher has worked his way up and into that 12th position, already up 23 spots on the Speedway here in the first run of the day. The first 17 laps, he has gained 23 spots, and now looking for more as he rolls down to the inside here of that 5 ride. You do see Jace LaForte able to take that 10th position away from Nicholas Wheeler. Wheeler's going to try to battle back, but Jordan Fisher right there ready to pounce, ready to work his way inside the top 10 here for an incredible run in our first stage of the day. And it's Mrs. Holler in the chat. What's good, Sure coming in, showing the love, says hello everybody. Always good night with Peacemaker and these guys racing. It is always a great night when we're all together here in the booth. As Anna says, hey girl, as Mrs. Holler says, come on Wyatt Mickelson, doing great up there, man. Wyatt's putting together a great run. We saw Ryan Holler work his way up there as well. He now sits in that ninth position, as Bird Dog says, no way. Stand on it, Jordan. Stand on it. Cheered on Jordan out there on the speedway. And yeah, Jordan, man, he's been working his way through the field, started at the back of the pack, and now just outside our top 10, man, showing a lot of speed, a lot of pace out of this 39 right now. We just got to wonder, is that pace going to hold up here for the rest of this run? We still got 11 laps left to go here in this first stage of the day. Will we see potentially maybe his tires start to fade away? Will that car start to struggle a little bit here later in this run? Will he give a little bit back later on here this afternoon? Or will he just continue to keep on and driving his way up here towards the front of the field, as he is just outside our top 10? And he does see Ryan Haller and Jace Laporte now battling door to door for position number 9 on the speedway. That could reel that 39 right in that much more into this battle for that 9th spot on the speedways. Here he comes down to the inside, looking for a big run. Down low, Jordan Fisher trying to work his way inside the top 10 is out in front. Matthew Wood reconsumes that race lead. Applegate up into second. Joseph Smith has fallen back into third. Aiden Lucas there in fourth, with Wyatt Mickelson rounding out our top 5 here at Auto Club Speedway. But we do see Jace Laporte able to work his way into 9th, but here comes Haller battling back down to the inside. Haller looking and trying to keep himself here in that 9th position, but he knows that Jordan Fisher's right there behind him, and he knows he's going to have to try to do something to keep himself up inside our top 10 out there on the speedway. Some great racing action as Brandon Flores coming in. Hopefully I'm getting that right. Brandon coming in, hitting that subscribe button, becoming a brand new member of the Peacemaker family here today. Brandon, welcome into the Peacemaker Sub Club, brother. Smashing that subscribe button, becoming part of the family here this evening. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys do exactly what Brandon just did. Hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family here today. As here we go, 3 wide back there for that 9th spot on the speedway. Fisher was down low, but now he's going to fall back in line to the back bumper of his teammate. Now right onto the back bumper of the 60 ride of Mr. Haller. And here we go. Caution flag is out. Oh, brother. Okay, I don't know if these guys had this one drawn up. This is a fairly late caution flag here in our first stage of the day. And now it's going to be decision time for each and every one of these drivers. Decisions, decisions, decisions. Tires are going to give you a ton of speed, a ton of grip, and a ton of time out there on the racetrack. We've already seen virtually about a second of tire fall off here throughout this 23 lap run this afternoon. Someone risk it for the brisket, someone deeper in the field. Maybe they come down pit side, throw some fresh tires on, try to use it to their advantage and try to work their way, up towards the front here, as we're going to take a look and see Evan Stewart and the 23 ride. Looks like they're going to kind of come together here, as let's take a look. So Evans in behind the 23. Here comes that Black Honey Barbershop ride. Looks like he's going to get loose. And I think right there, I believe at the 37 ride, almost at the same time, like there was oil down on the racetrack or something right here. I'm not sure if he gets into something or if he gets a little bit loose himself, but Evan Stewart kind of pushes up the racetrack here in towards the Dr. Pepper number 77. Now, I'm not sure if he just sees that the 23 ride is starting to slide sideways, that he's kind of losing control. But you see the 37 at almost the same dang time. He does the same thing. He's going for a power slide there on corner exit, and unfortunately, as you're sliding sideways, no forward bite, no forward traction, you're not getting any drive, so you're not building any speed on corner exit. The 99 ride does not see that, unfortunately gets into that left rear quarter panel of that Fish Speed Brakes 37 ride. That is going to send Evan Stewart for a slide down through the infield grass as the 23 of Austin Thompson goes for his slide. They both come to a stop there in the infield, and as they try to get rolling back out onto the racing surface, the caution flag is displayed. So our first yellow flag of the day here this evening, and now that's a big break here potentially for a lot of these drivers. We did see Jordan Fisher come down pit road. Grant Applegate's down pit side. He's getting tires. Wyatt Mickelson's getting tires. Tim Abril. Caleb Holloman, Jace Lafort, Ryan Haller, Austin Thompson, Jaden Porter, Jacob Lee, Michael Ponder Jr., Chance Hamby, Evan Stewart, Mike Corvo, all down pit road here. And we do see Jason Bogart. What in the world happened here to Bogarts? He's got a ton of damage on this race car. Did he get this coming down pit side? What in the world happened to the Flex Seal ride? We're going to throw this in reverse because I have no idea where this happens. He's already got pretty solid damage on this race car. I believe we're under the yellow flag here. And it looks like, let's get up into the outside fence. So there's the drivers that went around right there on the front straightaway. So this is going back to our caution flag. Bogart's rolling out there on the speedway. And it looks like he just sends it into corner number 1. And the car just does not turn. Just washes right up into the outside fence. Heavy right front damage there for that Flex Seal ride. And unfortunately here for Jason Bogarts, man, this is a lot of damage for that 17 ride. And as he takes it down pit side, man, it just seems like it keeps getting worse and worse and worse here for Jason Bogart. So I'm not sure if he ends up clipping this infield fence or something, or if he makes more contact down pit side. You can see that right front just absolutely busted up. He's out of control, trying to get it down into his pit stall, trying to hang on to it here. Finally gets it in there. But yeah, there's a ton of damage there for Jason Bogarts. And unfortunately, that's going to put him down pit road and probably multiple laps down here on the speedway. Now, that was a great caution flag because that did give a free pass, a lucky dog, to the 6th ride of Joe David. So David back onto the lead lap here. Landon Burbage, now the first driver, 1 lap down out there on the speedway. But we still got to battle back to the end of this stage here this afternoon. So the stage is not over. Another caution flag is just on the horizon. As Mrs. Holler says, go Ryan Holler. Cheering on Holler here this evening as Jackson says, peace, reset your trading paints. Logan said he is running the subway car, laugh out loud. I'm not going to reset it for one driver. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Pitbull Freeway Insurance ride. That is for certain for the 99 ride. But for everyone else, they should be in their paint schemes, in their race cars, and we'll see them continue to battle here this afternoon as we'll get them all ready to rock and roll. Is down through the Geico restart zone. Wood looking for a big restart, trying to keep all these drivers back there at bay and hoping to try and pick up this stage win here this afternoon, looking for that extra bonus point through the playoffs and hoping to try to put himself into a good position. As Landon Berber says, I can't believe I'm a lap down. Yeah, that's a tough spot to be, Landon. Tough spot to be. As Landon says, Grandma, please save me. I'm scared, he says. Landon, hey, brother, hey, listen, man, listen. That lucky dog is right on the horizon for you. This stage break right around the corner going to get you right back into the battle after having to serve that black flag penalty. Obviously having that mistake, trying to enter pit road to serve that penalty the first time. Just lost you that much time out there on the racetrack. We kind of figured you'd be going a lap down. Obviously, Joe David losing a lap as well did not help your case out. But hey, this caution flag and now another caution flag on the horizon for the stage break. Gonna get you right back into the action. Is out in front, Matthew Wood has control of this race, but Aiden Lucas, our pole sitter, sticking right there with him, staying on his back bumper, looking down to the inside, trying to battle back here, trying to look for this stage win is Joseph Smith, Jack Buelty, and our one of our substitute drivers, the 24 at TJ Ivy, rolling there in that 5th position. TJ putting together a great run here for, I do believe that is the Murphy ride for the 24 machine here, and trying to get Terrence Murphy some pretty good stage points. But oh, look out, man, the 32 and Nick Biddy sent it in there deep, and drove right into the side of that 24 ride, and my gosh, that was very close to another big wreck out there on the speedway, and it looks like Biddy's going to have to fall back in line as here comes Michael Durham Jr., Lucien Thompson, Brian Matthews there in 9th, and Trent Johns racing his way up inside the top 10, all looking for some stage points. But here comes that 57 of Grant Applegate, the 60 of Ryan Haller. They're looking for some stage points here as well. They got a little bit fresher tires, a little bit more fuel, and they're pushing here, trying to work their way back up inside the top 10. And for Applegate, he's already in there. He's up and into that 10th position, but he's not done yet, as we only got one lap left to go here in stage number 1. And Matthew Wood out in front. He's feeling A-OK here at the front of the field as Matthew rolls down through corner number 3, nice and easy out of corner number 4, and Matthew Wood back down across the line in the Outlier Speedco. Racers for Christ, number 16 ride, will win our first stage of the day here from Auto Club Speedway. Aiden Lucas will come home in second. Joseph Smith there in third. Jack Bealty, Nick Biddy, TJ Ivy for Murphy there in 6th, with Grant Applegate, Michael Durham Jr., Brian Matthews, and Trent Johns rounding out the top 10 in our first stage of the evening. Unfortunately there for Ryan Haller, just outside the top 10, looking in there for some stage points, as Lucien Thompson, Austin Guerrero, Stephen Blevins, Wyatt Mickelson, our top 15 out there on the speedway. And for all these drivers, now it's more, more interesting here, is now we get to see these drivers kind of flip this stage. Things are going to get flipped here. Unfortunately, everyone that was not down pit road is going to be heading down pit side here during this caution flag. And I think for everyone that came down pit side during the last yellow flag, they are probably going to stay out here, try to flip the script, try to, roles reversed here. I mean, maybe we see Applegate or some of these other drivers maybe come down, get fuel only, hope to use that to their advantage, maybe just the shorter time down pit side to help them out here. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out for them. But Anna says, laugh out loud. Is definitely a laugh out loud moment right there, as Landon Burbage is going to get the lucky dog spot. He is no longer going to have to be scared, as he'll be back on the lead lap here this evening, as Jimmy 3 times coming in. Shots fired right out of the get-go for Jimmy, as he says, Landon, you choke it anyways, bro. Oh, gosh. Like redemption, he says. You got to go right for the throat here, right out of the get-go, Jimmy 3 times. My gosh. Says, how's Anna? She's my favorite grandma around. She's all of our favorite grandmas around, okay? That is for damn certain. Our favorite grandmas out there on the speedway, and up in the comment section is Jimmy 3 times coming in. Looking vicious here this afternoon. He's not messing around. Jimmy 3 times looking to try to murder here this evening, as we do see almost everybody coming down pit side here. Only a few drivers going to stay out, and it looks like it is going to be Caleb Haldeman and the 09 ride of Jace LaForte, the 2 drivers. Gotta go with that strategy. Now, we do see Jaden Porter. He's going to go with that strat as well. So for the Buckley's number 74 ride, he's going to stay out here. And then we do see Landon Burbage gets the lucky dog. The free pass back on the lead lap. Great break there for Landon Burbage. And we do see Darren Engler. Looks like Darren Engler in the 83 ride lost connection, no longer out there on the speedway for Jason Bogarts. He's still down pit side. A lot of damage there on that number 17 ride. As Anna says, Peacemaker, you need to talk to Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy needs to cool. He needs to calm down, okay? I don't know why he's so upsetty spaghetti here with the series, but yeah, he definitely needs to chill out a little bit in the comment section, brother. You need to calm her down, my boy. We like the comments, we like the joke, but sometimes you don't need to go for the kill shot every time. Sometimes just being good Samaritan and being a nice guy kind of goes a long way. As Ronnie says, I know, I love Anna. We all love Anna. That is for dang certain. As Caleb Holloman, Jace LaForte, Jaden Porter, our top 3 out of there on the speedway now. And then it kind of gets a little bit more broken up. Jacob Lee will now be scored in position number 4. Matthew Wood is going to restart here in that 5th position. So for Matthew, This is going to set him back a little bit. He's going to have to try to battle through some more lap traffic here, trying to navigate his way to the front of the field, as he will have Joseph Smith back to his outside. Aiden Lucas there in 7th. DJ Ivy, Jack Buelty, Michael Durham Jr., Nick Biddy, Grant Applegate, Ryan Haller there in 13th. Brian Matthews, Tim Abril, our top 15. You got to look a little further back here as we do see Trent Johns, Lucian Thompson, Austin Guerrero, Chess Hamby, Wyatt Mickelson, our top 20. Then Austin Thompson, Stephen Blevins, Jaden Browder. Man, we got to look all the way back into 25th to find Jordan Fisher here. It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, for a bunch of these drivers, they were down pit side on lap 24, back down pit road here on lap 32. Obviously, making that earlier pit stop didn't really work out too well into their favor. I mean, for Applegate, didn't really earn any extra points there. I mean, he got 7th or 8th there in the stage, but I think he probably would have been a top 5 car in the stage if he didn't come down pit road there on lap 24. So he kind of gave a little bit back, and for the other drivers, they gave up stage points there as well, including Ryan Haller, Wyatt Mickelson. You look back at, obviously, Jordan Fisher, who is right there in line for maybe some stage points, also giving some back there as well. So that's going to be very, very interesting here in this one, as Landon says, Grandma, Jimmy is my biggest fan. It's okay. He's definitely your biggest fan, as Landon says, I'm on the lead lap now. He's on the lead lap now. We can't wait to see what that Princess Towing ride is going to do out there on the speedway. As Ronnie Stewart says, if they team up on wood, they might be able to slow him down. They might be able to. They might be able to. That is for certain. As Jimmy 3 times says, tires mean nothing. Tires definitely mean something, man. We saw at least a second of tire fall off there throughout that first run. So the tires are definitely getting chewed apart here. I don't know if it's the heat, just the concrete, what it's doing here to these race cars, but it's definitely wearing and tearing these tires out there on the speedway. So it's going to be fun to see who's going to be able to find their way up and into victory lane late in this race. But for Caleb Holloman, he's got the top spot. He's out in front. Jace Lafort there in second, but quickly down to the inside. Here comes Matthew Wood, already around the 21 right of Jacob Lee, now trying to make the pass here on Jaden Porter for position number 3, and he's got the 34 ride of Aiden Lucas right there with him. Aiden gonna drag race and push that number 16 ride down the front straightaway here, giving him a slight edge into core number 1 here over the Buckley's ride of Jaden Porter. And it looks like Porter gonna slide up the racetrack, so isn't the 16 ride. And for Matthew Wood, man, great run there at a core number 2. Pulls up door to door there. I don't think he realized he was gonna catch that 77 ride of Caleb Holloman as quickly as he did, and I think he was trying to go to the fence and realized, hey, I can't go up there any farther because I got to drive right through that 77, and here he is now going to be able to clear. And 77 of Caleb Holloman, only one car between him and our race lead once again as Jace Lafort out in front, but look out, little bit of contact, and Jaden Porter ends up into the outside fence right there. Pretty solid lick there. Pretty good damage to the right front of that Buckley 74 ride, so he'll look to try to keep that thing together, try to keep it rolling here this afternoon, as he's got the Sobeys Canadian Tire Buckley's ride, the Canadian Heritage machine out there on the speedway here this evening, and looking good here up inside our top 10, trying to hang on to it. Hopefully that damage not going to be too much, and he's going to be able to keep on battling here this evening. But out in front, Matthew Wood. He's got that race lead. Did not take him long to work his way back to the point. Wood out in front, and now looking to try to keep Jace Lafort and the rest of the field back there at bay as he's trying to pull away and try to open up a bit of a lead out there on the speedway. As Anna says, let's go Landon, and she 3 times says, let's go Landon as well, cheering on his favorite driver here this evening, as Brianna says, there's SpongeBob SquarePants. Yeah, there he is. There's Mr. SpongeBob in the comment section. That is for certain. He's definitely SpongeBob out there on the speedways. It's Brian Alessandro in the chat. Brian, how are you, brother? Brian coming in, showing the love, says, Jimmy 3 times says, I love refrigerators. That's cool. That's cool. Who doesn't like refrigerators? That's Matthew Wood. Out in front, man, he's got that race lead, trying to keep him back there at bay. Jace Lafort there in second in his fish speed breaks, a number 09 ride. Aiden Lucas in third with Caleb Holloman falling back now into that 4th position. DJ Ivy up inside our top 5. Joseph Smith now into 6 with Grant Applegate right there in 7th. Jacob Lee's falling all the way back into 8th here as he's got 2 drivers battling down to his inside. Here comes Ryan Haller. Here comes that 32 and Nick Biddy as they're tight down and out of corner number 4. Oh, man, that was very, very close. There was a little bit of contact right there. Luckily enough, all 3 drivers able to keep their cars pointing the right direction, but you do see Nick Biddy lost a ton of speed momentum there down that front straightaway. Luckily enough, able to hold on to that 10th position as here comes the Fish Speed Brakes, number 45, right at Tim Averill. Averill rolling there in 11th, and he sees, obviously, Jordan Fisher coming right back at him here, man. Fisher not wasting any time trying to race his way back up towards this top 10 here. The car that has passed the most cars this afternoon, man. He has been all up and down throughout this field, and he has been making some quick work of a lot of these drivers out there on the speedway. As you do see Jaden Porter, Michael Durham Jr. right there in front of him. He's trying to make the pass there on Michael Durham Jr. for that 13th position. Austin Guerrero there in 15th, trying to keep himself rolling in that 15th position, but man, he's got his hands full. Jaden Browder back into the action here, and here he comes. Going to battle his way back up inside the top 15 as he looks down to the inside of Guerrero. We do see the 71 of Brian Matthews in the Best Buy ride. He's right there ready to pounce. Lucian Thompson, Wyatt Mickelson all the way back here at 19th. I'm sure Wyatt would love to try to navigate his way back up towards the front of the field here, trying to rejoin our top 5 here this evening. Stephen Blevins, Austin Thompson, Virgil Perriman there in 21st, 22nd. Then we see Evan Stewart back in 23rd. Brian Matthews unfortunately continue to fall back here now into the 24th position as Landon Burbage rolls to his outside. That's where you do see Logan Perriman, Nicholas Wheeler, Chess Hamby, the 6 ride of Joe David, and the 55 of Nick Jensen rounding out our top 30 here on the Speedway. Michael Ponder Jr., Jack Buelty, man, it's crazy to see Jack back here this deep into the field. Mike Corvo, unfortunately now the first driver 1 lap down in that 22Q.org number 97 ride, stuck back in that 33rd position, a lap down out on the Speedway. Darren Engler unfortunately down behind pit wall, and for Jason Bogart still down pit side trying to get that car repaired this evening. Is out in front, Matthew Wood has got the top spot, man, out in front leading the way here this evening as each and every one of these drivers try to navigate their way to the front of the field. As Bird Dog says, Rubbin is racing. Rubbin is racing, that is for certain. As Ronnie says, we gonna see a Fish Wood rematch. I mean, you just never know, man. I mean, honestly, at this point in time, we can never count out Matthew Wood or Jordan Fisher to be up there towards the front of the field, battling, duking it out, and fighting for the race win out there on the Speedway. You can just never count those two out, but there's so many other talented drivers in this field, man, that honestly, anyone can still find their way to victory lane. One mistake, one slip up, one issue here for Matthew Wood down pit side, or maybe Jordan Fisher. I mean, really opens up the door here for drivers like Aiden Lucas, Joseph Smith, Applegate. I mean, Haller's right there. He's having a hell of a run here this afternoon in that 60 ride. Nick Biddy, Jace LaForte, they've looked really strong here this evening, and you start to throw in some drivers that are even deeper in the field here. Jaden Browder had to do a pass-through penalty early on in this race. Did not really get a chance to navigate his way through the traffic too much there in stage number 1, but here in stage number 2, he's been battling his way through all the traffic, and here he is now joining us inside our top 10. Is hang on at the 45 ride. Tim Abrams around. Caution flag is on the Speedway. There goes Chance Hamby. He ends up into the outside fence as well as the Fish Speed Brakes number 45 of Tim Averill here, filling in for Colby Wells this afternoon, and unfortunately here for Wells' replacement, running into some issues here on lap number 44 here this evening. So let's take another look at this number 45 ride as he's going to exit corner number 2, tries to get up to the outside, and I think just Caleb Holloman's there. Caleb's got the run, the speed here out of that outside, like middle lane here. Just carrying a lot more speed momentum. The 45 kind of coming up, leaves him no room, and They end up making contact nonetheless right there, and unfortunately, I think even if the 77 is able to get off the throttle and kind of back out of it a little bit with this contact right here, I think it was already kind of too late for the 45 ride, and unfortunately there, he's trying to collect it, trying to save it. The car washes down the racetrack into the dirty infield right there, and unfortunately all that dust, grime, and everything else kind of just loses control, finally gets sideways, locks it down, and caution flag flies. And at the same time, you see the 10 ride here of Chess Hamby. Chess, I don't know if he gets a little help here or if he just kind of locks it up, trying to keep himself out of this caution flag. And unfortunately, yeah, right here, I don't know if he just kind of gets a little bent out of shape and just misjudges the correction right there. I don't know if he tries to just crank the wheel too hard here or what may be the cause of this one. Yeah, it just looks like he kind of gets a little wheel hop, then tries to get up the track there, and unfortunately the car just kind of snap hooks up into the outside fence, and some very, very solid front end damage there for that MD Turner Enterprises number 10 Chevrolet. And unfortunately for Chess Hamby, he's gonna have to get a lot of repairs done here in this one. His drivers gonna make that decision to come down pit road. We do see Aiden Lucas, Matthew Wood, Nick Biddy, they're all down pit side here. Wyatt Mickelson, pretty much everybody except for our top 8 going to stay out here. So Applegate will consume the race lead. Joseph Smith will now be in second with Jaden Porter in third. Lucian Thompson there in fourth with Trent Johns, Evan Stewart, Logan Perriman, and Nicholas Wheeler, our substitute driver here this afternoon for Xavier Rugglebrugge. Rounding out our top 8. They're the only 8 drivers that did not pit here during this caution flag. It looks like Michael Durham Jr. is going to be the first driver off of pit road that came down pit side there on lap 46 as Wood, Lucas, Nick Biddy, Haller, Mickelson, all these drivers going to look to try to battle their way back up towards the front of the field here as, man, caution flag going to mix things up here in this one as Andrea says, yes, Jordan, hashtag fish speed. The fish speed ride's looking great out there as Bird Talk says, go, Jordan, go, way to work it. He's going to flip it down and reverse it out there on the racetrack as he's continuing to battle his way up towards the front of the field. Keeps getting shuffled back through some of these different pitch strategies. Brian Underwood says, I think Wood has it. Dude is a monster on the sim. Almost a 60% winning percentage in wheel-to-wheel. 23 wins. Next closest is with 4. Yeah, definitely some crazy stats there. I don't know if it's 23 wins. I mean, maybe all together with, I don't know, any of their other series. I know this series, the inaugural season was last year. He won 15 races. I think this year he may have 2 under his belt now this year. Maybe 1, 2 wins here on this season. So he's not quite at 23, but he's definitely got, 17 or so now here in this one. I mean, maybe with some of the F1 stuff that these guys were doing before, maybe they've got something. Maybe they got a little bit of stats there as well. Let's take a look here. Yeah, Matthew Wood with the championship. The big winners, the crown jewel winners there from this year and last year. You have to look at some more of the Google Docs there to try to look at the all-time stats there in that one as Jackson Branscombe says MTL on the inside. He says MTL on the inside as Mrs. Holler says, move it up, Ryan. You're in a good position. Lots of laps left to go. Lots of laps left to go here in this one as, oh gosh, you guys are crazy. Now tell us who has the second best place average. Probably Landon. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you that one, brother. I couldn't tell you that one. That's not up to me. I'm no statistician up here in the broadcast booth. As here we go, back to green flag racing as here we go, man. Applegate, big restart, big jump right there. And for that 57 ride, he's going to try to stay out in front here, trying to earn himself a little bit of stage points here in stage number 2. But we'll have to wait and see how that goes for him because some of these drivers back there deeper in the field may not have to save fuel may have a little bit extra left in the tank here. Maybe they can navigate their way back up towards the front of the pack here. As you see Matthew Wood already trying to slice and dice his way through this top 10, trying to navigate his way back to the front of the pack here as he's all over the back bumper there of Logan Perriman, and now the 74 ride, and he's going to split the middle between Porter and Perriman out there on the racetrack and trying to navigate his way back up to the front of the field here and just outside our top 5 now on the speedway. As he works down to the inside here of the Dollar General number 8 machine at Trent Johns. Looks like Johns isn't going to have much there for him as he'll fall back in line. His lookout! There goes another one of our substitute drivers. The 24 ride sideways down at a corner number 2, and unfortunately here for TJ Ivy, substituting here for Terrence Murphy this afternoon, runs into some issues out of corner number 4, and I believe our pole sitter Aiden Lucas gonna get some contact here in this one. So for the 24 ride, down on the inside here, looking for a big run is LaFour and Lucas up there on the outside groove, and they just run out of room here out of corner number 2, and man, some pretty solid contact there for all 3 of these drivers. Let's take another look at it here as, unfortunately, not sure if Aiden comes down here. The 24 is definitely traveling up the racetrack like you do on corner exit, and it looks like for Aiden trying to leave enough room for the 09 ride. The 24 kind of coming up, the 34 kind of coming down, trying to leave room there for the 09. Unfortunately, being 3 wide, I just don't think they realized it, and they run out of room in a quick hurry, and unfortunately it just kind of hooks the 24 ride up the racetrack and across the nose of the 34. They both get up into the 09 at Jace LaFour. LaFour gets into the outside fence. Pretty solid damage there as well for the 15 ride, as the Skyline machine of Stephen Blevins also going to get some pretty solid damage out of that one. And this happened right in front of Jimmy 3 times favorite driver, Landon Burbage, and Landon able to dodge a bullet right here, able to keep his foot in the throttle and avoid the mayhem right here in front of him, as he's able to dodge a bit of mayhem here and keep himself rolling. As here we go, riding on board with Burbage. Here's the contact. They start wrecking. Just gets up the racetrack, and I don't know if he knew how close that was, because he was close enough to maybe not run into the back bumper, but man, he was super close to that, man. He was not too far away from not only running into the back end of them, but also getting clipped here. Man, that could have definitely been a whole lot worse there for that 2 ride for the 88 Austin Guerrero. You saw the 67 ride right down into the apron of Jack Buelty, trying to avoid it there. A few of those other drivers, they're taking that inside groove, trying to make sure they keep themselves out of the chaos out there on the racetrack. And luckily enough, only those 4 drivers ended up with some damage, as you do see TJ Ivy, Aiden Lucas, Stephen Blevins. They're all down pit road trying to get some of those repairs here. Same with Jace LaFour in that 09 ride. So they're trying to get their cars fixed up, trying to get back out there onto the speedway. Chess Hamby also out there trying to get that car repaired and back out onto the speedway here. Same with Mike Corriveau as well, also down pit side. And now we do see Nick Jensen. Looks like Nick Jensen's done for the night as well. Jensen, unfortunately, looks like he has lost connection. He's down behind pit wall now as well. So it looks like we have lost another driver here this evening. And for any of the, Michael Ponder Jr. fans of the stands here, Ponder ran 43.97 laps. Looks like he's lost connection here as well in the 13 ride down behind pit wall as well here this afternoon. So looks like 4 drivers here unfortunately having early exits to this feature event, as Nick Jensen, Michael Ponder Jr., Darren Engler, and the number 17 of Jason Bogart all find themselves down in behind pit wall and getting some serious damage repaired, or just trying to get loaded back into the server, back into the fun here this evening, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are just tuning in and you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor, man. Hit that thumbs up button on the broadcast for us right now, man. The like button on the stream. Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. And if you guys want to help us out even more, hit that join button. Become part of the Peacemaker Members Club here this evening. and for the price less of junior chicken at McDonald's. You can help us out a ton here. Become part of the members group. You gain access to exclusive content. You also get exclusive emotes here and some more personal one-on-one time in our Discord here on Peacemaker Gaming, as well as Grant Applegate ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to battle here in this one. Applegate ready to be set loose, ready to try to run away here with stage number 2. As that caution flag, I think, really helped out a few of these drivers up towards the front of the field. If they were running, trying to save a little bit of fuel, if they need to save just a little bit, if their numbers were maybe just a half a mile off, this yellow flag, I think, probably saved them right there, and I think their decision to stay out, gain all that track position, may work out perfectly here this evening. And for drivers like Evan Stewart, Lucian Thompson, Trent Johns, those guys, man, they needed a lot of this track position, and they got it here by staying out during that penultimate caution flag there, and it's working out to their favor as we get closer and closer to the end of stage number 2 here this evening. It's Grant Applegate out in front, who's got the top spot. Evan Stewart rolls there in second. Joseph Smith in position number 3, trying to battle here to the inside of Evan Stewart. Evan trying to battle back though in that outside group as the Fish Speed Brakes ride, trying to stick right there with his teammate. Now here we go. We see another Fish Speed machine making some moves back there. It's Jordan Fisher going 3 wide here with Perriman and Porter, and Jordan Fisher's looking to get a 2-for-1 deal down through corner number 3 and 4 as he'll work his way around Porter, around the 99 right of Perriman, and now finds himself up and in that 7th position on the speedway, as Rodney Stewart says, or you can just send Peacemaker some coffee money. Laugh out loud. We appreciate that, Ronnie. We appreciate that, my boy, coming in, showing the big love here in this one. The $5 dono says, or you can send them some coffee money. We appreciate that, brother. That's definitely going to buy us a couple large Tim Hortons double-doubles tomorrow. That is for damn certain right there, brother. That is definitely going to buy us some coffee tomorrow morning. We got to be up at 5:30 in the morning, get ready for work. So not looking forward to that, but definitely feeling better too, man. And man, last weekend, oh man, all last week we were down bad, Chad. We were down bad all last week, really until yesterday, even a little bit today. Like, still a little bit of a cough here and there, but man, we haven't really started to feel much better until now, man. That was a awful cold or flu or whatever the heck we had, man. We were down bad for about a week there, and man, it was very tough to be up here in the broadcast booth to bring you guys the amazing racing action there last weekend. So we appreciate y'all sticking with us and staying with us there and battling through that as well with us here on Peacemaker Gaming. Is out in front, it's Grant Applegate, who's got this top spot. He's trying to run away from the rest of the field here with only 9 laps left to go here in stage number 2 this afternoon. As Applegate out in front, he does have about half a second now between himself and that rush hour karting number 31 of Joseph Smith, as Smith rolls in position number 2 on the speedway. You take a look down to his inside. Here comes Matthew Wood looking to try to battle his way back up and out in front here, and right behind him on their back bumper, the driver who has passed the most cars here this evening, the 39 rider Jordan Fisher. Highest he's ran here this evening, up into position number 4. He drives down to the inside of the 31 right. He'll steal that 3rd position from Joseph Smith. So for the first time here this evening, Jordan Fisher inside our top 3 out there on the speedway. Now Applegate is going to have his work cut out for him, trying to keep Wood and Fisher back there at bay, but Applegate is the driver that can do it, man. He's got a lot of speed, a lot of talent here in this 57 ride. And with the Fish Speed Brakes machine, he's looking to try to keep himself out in front and looking to keep his teammates and the rest of the field back there at bay, as Matthew and Jordan both trying to track him down, and it may bring the rest of the field right there with them, as you see Joseph Smith glued to the back bumper of Jordan Fisher, and Evan Stewart right there with them, hanging out in that 5th position on the speedway. Nick Biddy in position number 6 with Trent Johns back in 7th. Lucian Thompson in position number 8. Logan Perriman and now Landon Burbage rounding out our top 10. Burbage into the 10th spot here on the Speedway, man. And for the 10 right after being, a lap down not too long ago at the end of stage number 1, he's navigated his way up and through the field and now inside the top 10 here. Looks like the Prince is towing number 2 ride may have something up his sleeve here in this feature event to try to put himself into a good finish. But here comes Jacob Lee, Jack Bulty, Ryan Haller, Tim Abril in the 45 ride, Wyatt Mickelson there in that Tracker Boats number 51, rounding out our top 15, all trying to race their way inside our top 10, knowing that they want to try to snag some stage points here in stage number 2. Aiden Lucas right there as well, trying to navigate his way around Wyatt Mickelson now on the Speedway as Michael Durham Jr., Austin Guerrero, Brian Matthews in the Best Buy number 71 ride back in 19th, and Jaden Porter rounding out our top 20. TJ Ivy rolls there in 21st with Nicholas Wheeler, Virgil Perriman, Joe David, and Austin Thompson are top 25. Out there on the Speedway, Jace Lafort, Jaden Browder, Caleb Holloman, Stephen Blevins, Mike Corriveau are top 30 with Chess Hamby. They are in 31st here, and unfortunately for Nick Jensen, Michael Ponder Jr., Darren Engler, and Jason Bogarts not back out onto the racetrack here this afternoon. They are still down and potentially out of this race for the rest of the evening, as Brian says. How about that, SpongeBob? How about that, SpongeBob? I love it. I love it. You go for him. You go right back at him, Brian. You do it, brother. As I don't know if Jimmy 3 times is still in here or not, but he may be eating his words. Landon Burbage. I mean, he's putting together a pretty solid race, a pretty solid drive out there on the Speedway as he's now navigated his way up inside the top 10. But man, he's gonna have his heart. He's gonna have a hard time here, man. Jack Bulty's very, very quick and looking to try to take that 10th position away from him. But there are a couple spots here potentially on the line that they can try to move themselves around, move through the top 10 a little bit more here, as Fish Mom says, fear the fish, fear Jordan Fisher. That is definitely right. Fisher is definitely one of those drivers that man, you always got to fear him out there on the Speedway, but so is Matthew Wood as he does reconsume that race lead, gets himself back around Grant Applegate now with only 3 laps left to go here in stage number 2. Can somebody jump up and take it back away as Brian says, oh, I don't care if he's here or not. I love it. I love it, Brian. Go right for the throat, my boy. Go right back at him. I absolutely love it, man. Absolutely love it. I mean, I stand with you. If he's here or not, hopefully he goes back, sees it, he hears it, something, and get your point across, man. And so we always love to see the friendly banter for the most part in the comment section, at least for the most part friendly. If it gets a little too aggressive or a little too crazy, we'll definitely put guys in timeout mode and give them a little bit of a break from the comment section here. So we'll keep a close eye on it and keep moderating it here this afternoon. But out in front, moderating and continue to have the race control and the racecraft to be out in front and leading the way here at Auto Club Speedway. It's Matthew Wood as Matthew continues to keep these drivers back there at bay, man. That Outlier Speedco Racers for Christ and number 16 machine absolutely hooked up here this evening. Down across the line, they'll complete lap number 64. We only get 1 lap left to go here in stage number 2 here this evening is Jordan Fisher there in second. He works his way around his Fish Speed Brakes teammate, that 57 of Grant Applegate. Will slide back to third, and here comes that 31 ride of Joseph Smith, quickly looking to try to work his way up inside our top 3 is Nick Biddy now into that 5th position as Evan Stewart. They are in 6th. Trent John trying to hold on to 7th as he's got Jack Bulty, Logan Perriman, Aiden Lucas right there with him. Unfortunately, you do see Jacob Lee and Landon Burbage fall outside our top 10 here and back down across the line. It's Matthew Wood who will pick up our second stage win of the day. So Matthew Wood wins stage 1, wins stage number 2, and for the 16 ride, looking very, very strong here this evening. But another driver that has passed the most cars out on the Speedway up and into second here. And Jordan Fisher, man. Rodney, you may have called it, brother. It may be a shootout here. An absolute gunslinger between Matthew Wood and Jordan Fisher to finish off this feature event. But we still got a lot of racing left to go. A lot of mistakes to be had. A lot of triumphs and catastrophes for these drivers. So we'll have to wait and see who's able to hit the strategy, who's able to hit their marks and not put themselves into a bad position out there on the racetrack that could cost them potentially a chance at victory here this evening. As Matthew Wood, Jordan Fisher 1 and 2 there in stage number 2. Grant Applegate in third with Joseph Smith, Nick Biddy, Evan Stewart, Trent Johns, Jack Bulty, Aiden Lucas, and Logan Perriman are top 10 there in stage number 2 this afternoon. As Bill Fisher says, be kind in your comments or leave it. Exactly, Bill. Exactly, brother. Gotta be kind. Gotta be nice to one another, man. The world is already too angry at one another, man. Here in the Peacemaker broadcast, man, is never a fun spot. Never a spot to, show displeasure and anger and stuff like that. We get it here and there, and sometimes, poking fun at one another is all good, but don't want to see guys, taking it across the line there. As Ronnie Stewart says, put that wood on the fire because it's going to burn. Oh, gosh, it's going to burn. Matthew, gotta look out here, man. Ronnie's gonna throw you right into the fire here this afternoon. I think he's already in the fire, man. He's already feeling that burn with Fisher, Applegate, Smith, Biddy, Stewart, all these guys knocking in his back bumper, hoping to try to work their way around him here this evening. He's gonna have a lot of laps here to try to hold them off, and a lot of battles here at the front of the field to finish off this feature event, man. As we're just rolling up onto the halfway marker. When we go back to green flag racing, we should be right there around that halfway point here this evening. So for each and every one of these drivers, kind of being halfway in, halfway through this race, now's the time to maybe make a change, make a swing here. The track is changing. The cars are changing. What can you do and what do you do to try to put yourself into a winning position? As everyone getting fuel, getting 4 tires, getting ready to roll back out there. As we did see the 8 ride of Trent Johns. Trent came down pit road, but I believe he missed his pit stall. And unfortunately for Mr. Trent Johns, he's going to have to make another pit stop here. He's going to lose a lot of track position out there on the racetrack. I think he just missed the pit stall and did not get into the pit lane. And unfortunately, a big mistake there for the 8 riders. He'll lose a ton of track position, having to work his way back down pit side here during this stage break. As Matthew Wood comes down pit road, he'll come out of it with more than likely the race lead here, as Trent Johns will work his way back down pit road. Joseph Smith will come out in second with Nick Biddy, Jack Bulty, Logan Perriman, Joe David, Evan Stewart back in 8th, Jacob Lee, and Lucian Thompson rounding out our top 10 here. Wyatt Mickelson, Michael Durham Jr., Aiden Austin Guerrero, Brian Matthews, and Landon Burbage are top 15. TJ Ivy, Austin Thompson, Virgil Perriman, Nicholas Wheeler, Tim Abril will now be our top 20 with Aiden Lucas. Jaden Porter there in 22nd. Applegate comes out of the pits back in 23rd. Maybe even 24th as Blevins goes around him right there. Mike Corriveau back on the lead lap here. Scored in the 25th position with Caleb Holloman, Ryan Haller, Chess Hamby, and Jordan Fisher. Coming out of the pits here quite a bit later than everybody else here. A very slow pit stop there for Jordan Fisher, and he's going to have to make up a lot of ground again. He's going to have to go through the field again to try to work his way back to the point, as we do see Trent Johns, Blevins, Corriveau, they're all coming back down pit road trying to get, obviously, their pit stop in for the 8 ride, and I don't even know. Did he get into his pit stall this time? Yes. Okay, so he does make his pit stop there. Big mistake out of the 8 machine of Trent Johns, but luckily enough, he'll still be on the lead lap. He'll still be in on the action, but unfortunately, just going to have to restart here deep in the field. Chess Hamby, Stephen Blevins, Fisher, LaFleur, Jaden Browder, all back there deep in the field. Going to have to be starting just outside our top 20 and right around our 30th position out there on the speedway, so that's really going to set them back a lot more. And with Matthew Wood out in front, man, this may be exactly what he needs. If this race goes clean and green, if they can run virtually 71 laps of non-stop green flag racing, it's going to be that much tougher for Jordan Fisher and some of those guys deeper in the field now to try to battle back from, to try to work their way back up through the field is one thing. To gain all that time up, though, throughout a 71-lap run is going to be very, very tough to gain that extra time back out there on the speedways. Here we go, back to green flag racing. Green flag is in the air, and for Matthew Wood, he gets a great restart, great launch right there, and trying to keep himself at the front of the field, as we did see one driver getting a bit of a jump there on that restart. Let's take a look back here. I don't think it was the 39 ride. I believe it was the 09 of Jace LaForte. Kind of got a bit of a jump here on this restart. The officials may need to take a look at that one. So he's supposed to be in line in behind that number 39 ride. And as we go green flag racing, the leaders go, and he just jumps to the outside, and he picks up 1, 2, 3, 4 positions, almost 5 positions before they even get back to the start-finish line right there. So for the 09 ride, I mean, maybe a big heads-up move. Maybe that'll work out into his favor, or maybe that'll hurt him in the long run here, or potentially after the fact. But that one definitely caught our eye. But out in front, Matthew Wood continues to hold on to the top spot here. You see them all shuffling around back there. Deeper in the field is there 2, 3 wide here. 70 laps in, 70 laps left to go. Here will be 69 the next time around the start-finish line. As Brian says, can't lose spots on pit road. Yeah, that is a tough spot to lose positions out there on the racetrack. But hey, you know what? If that means you get that extra gallon of fuel into your ride, if that gives you that extra time to make a change on your race car to try to make it that much better, that much quicker out there on the racetrack, sometimes giving up those 3, 4, 5 positions can be that entirely different, game changer that you may need to try to race your way up into victory lane here this evening. As you see this guy still making some big moves here, man. Some big dive bombs out there on the racetrack as everyone's trying to navigate their way to the front of the field. And right now is the time to get after it, man. This is the pay window open for each and every one of these drivers, as no more stage breaks. The only time we'll see another caution flag is for an issue out there on the speedway. And for a lot of these drivers, man, they are trying to navigate their way up towards the front of the field, trying to make back a lot of ground that they gave up out there on the speedway. And you see the 77 of Caleb Holloman. Oh my gosh, Holloman sent it in there deep underneath that 34 of Aiden Lucas. Watch him right here on the bottom side, and just washes right up the racetrack into the door of the 34 ride, and luckily enough, they were all able to hang on to it right there. Good piece of driving by the 45 ride of Tim Averill to get up and give a little bit extra room there to the 34 of Aiden Lucas, because gosh dang, that was close to another caution flag out there on the speedway, but everyone able to keep it together, keep it rolling out there on the speedway as Matthew Wood continues to hold on to the top spot here. Joseph Smith, Nick Biddy right there with him. Jack Bulty's raced his way back up inside our top 5 as he rolls there in position number 4 in that Robin Hood number 67 machine. Logan Perriman there in 5th with the number 51 of Wyatt Mickelson back up inside our top 10 as Wyatt now rolls in that 6th position. Jacob Lee there in 7th. Joe David, Brian Matthews, Lucian Thompson duking it out here in that beautiful 61, the Napa Auto Parts ride. Able to jump up and steal that spot as Brian Matthews slow down on the apron here. End up seeing about 4, 5, 6 cars get around him, and he falls from battling here for a top 10 to now all of a sudden sitting back in 17th as Thompson will jump into that 9th spot. Michael Durham Jr. in position number 10 now. Evan Stewart right there with him, trying to work his way back inside the top 10 team with Austin Guerrero, Landon Burbage, Grant Applegate, Tim Averill, our top 15 out there on the speedway. You gotta look a little farther, deeper in the pack here to find Jordan Fisher, as Fisher, oh no, heartbreaker. This is what we talked about, man. He had the speed, he had the runs going, but ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fear the fish. Maybe a fish out of water right now on the speedway. Take a look at the 39 ride. A ton of front end damage here for the Fish Speed Brakes 39 ride of Jordan Fisher, as he will have to come down pit road. We do see the caution flag come out, so that one may save him a little bit here. We'll see what the yellow flag is for, but let's take a look here at the 39 ride. Here we go. Heads down into corner number 1. I'm not sure if there's contact here or if something else happens as, oh, yep, there we go. All right, so it looks like he's getting a good run. The 77 ride right here. of Caleb Holloman is going to drive up in front of him, and I think when that happens, the 39 checks up ever so slightly, coming down the racetrack just in front of the 8 right of Trent Johns. Unfortunately, Johns not realizing that he's getting onto the binders there on corner entry and gets into the back bumper of him, shoots him up the racetrack. Hard contact there with that outside fence, and for Jordan Fisher, man, this is a ton of damage here for that number 39 ride. I see that entire front fender just absolutely destroyed. The car is cambered out. Obviously, a lot of damage here for Jordan Fisher. Slow on the racetrack, just trying to limp this thing down pit side. And as he was heading down pit road, the caution flag does come out, but I believe for Jordan Fisher, he's taking the car off the racetrack. His Fishmon with the sad face in the comment section. Yeah, that was definitely a sad one right there. I mean, that I believe is probably going to take Jordan Fisher potentially out of this race. Now, we do see the caution flag come out here. Not 100% sure what this yellow flag was for. Okay, there we go. We see Aiden Lucas also up into the outside fence here. Okay, let's play this back. Let's take a look here at Aiden Lucas, because he finds the outside wall here as well. A ton of damage on the 34 ride. Let's see if he gets a helping hand here as well. He's sending it down into corner number 1 next time around, and it's the 71 just drives right through him. Sends him sideways up into the outside fence right there. Pretty solid lick for the 34 ride, but even less damage than what we saw out of the number 39 of Jordan Fisher. I just want to play this back. I don't think these guys really ran into one another here. Down out of corner number 4, no contact. Keep battling here. The 71 up the racetrack. He was already on the backslide here. The 34 of Aiden Lucas slides up in front of him. He's clear of him. Then the 71 shoots back down to the inside. The 34 shoots it into the corner, and the 71 just sends it in there a whole lot deeper here. And unfortunately, runs right into that left rear quarter panel of the 34 ride and shoots Aiden Lucas up the racetrack into the outside fence. And that's where we see our caution flag come back out on the speedway here. Another angle of this one, man, is that was a big shot here between the 71 of Brian Matthews and that 34 of Aiden Lucas, as Matthews in the Best Buy Camaro here just, I don't know if the 34 just drives down in front of him, if he's not expecting the 34 ride there. Obviously, the 34 ride's trying to make the corner, trying to run more of the middle. The 71's also running the middle, but just kind of running in a little deeper. We're looking to wash up the racetrack there, and unfortunately, wash right into that left rear quarter panel of that 34 ride and sent Aiden Lucas up into the outside fence. Good piece of driving there by the 18 ride. It's, man, the Folgers machine of Virgil Pearman very, very close to getting tied up in that one and ended with a lot of damage there for himself. So good piece of driving there for Virgil to really avoid that. Could have been a whole lot worse for him. He may have gotten a little contact out of it, but not a ton, or as badly as what it could have been. And luckily enough, he gets to keep on battling, keep on rolling out there on the speedway. But unfortunately, we see Jordan Fisher. He's taken that car down behind pit wall and potentially out of this race. Virgil Pearman still down pit side, so maybe that damage was a little bit worse than what we thought here for that number 18 ride. As Blevins, he's down there on pit road. Chess Hamby's rolling back out there. Same with Mike Corriveau. Ryan Holler's deeper in the field here. Aiden Lucas. Not sure if they've gotten this car repaired or not, but it does look like he has got that quick repair still in his back pocket. He's able to use it and get that car fixed up and ready to rock and roll here, as things have changed again here at the front of the field. More drivers that come down pit road there on lap number 77. Our top 5, though, did not come down pit side, so that moves the 21 of Jacob Lee, the 88 of Austin Guerrero, the 74 of Jaden Porter, the 77 of Caleb Holloman, and I believe the 8 ride of Trent Johns. Now our top 5 out there on the speedway. And then we do see the 31 of Joseph Smith, Jack Buelty, Lucian Thompson, Landon Burbage, Matthew Wood. Our top 10 out there on the speedway, getting ready to go back to green flag racing as things a little bit more broken up. And look out here on the restart. Oh, they're stacking up. Look out. Cautions breeding cautions, and this restart just did not get underway the way a lot of these drivers were hoping for, and unfortunately, I just don't know if it was the race leaders here. I don't know if these guys were having a hard time trying to decipher on who was the control car, but they enter the Geico restart zone right here. As they enter the Geico restart zone, everyone's expecting to go. They're expecting to go. You got to fire by here, and it just seems like the 24 ride really not going yet. I think the 88, he's kind of just trying to hold on as best as he can. He's got the 77 ride of Holloman all over his back bumper here. Let's see if we can get another look here at, obviously, the 21, but let's take a look here at the 88 of Austin Guerrero, because as they're heading down through this Geico restart zone, everyone's expecting to go right here, and I think you're going to see Caleb Holloman. Oh, yeah, and there you go. You see the 21 just does not fire. 88 ride doesn't either because he's not trying to jump the restart here. And I think that's just going to stack everything up at the front of the pack here as Holloman all over the back bumper here of Austin Guerrero. Runs more into that right rear quarter panel and unfortunately just kind of hooks him up the racetrack, up into the outside fence. And from that point on, it's on like Donkey Kong. You see the 8 and the 61 tied together. There goes Evan Stewart. He's going to go around all these other drivers down through the infield, just trying to avoid the carnage here on the restart. And unfortunately, a lot of these guys, man, get absolutely tore up out there on the racetrack. Let's see if we can take a look here at Trent Johns as he's restarting in about that 5th position. And I think he's going to kind of get the same feel here as he's going to get a bump right here into the 74, the 67 into him. And he's just kind of getting bounced around right there. And unfortunately, lose the handle of the car up into the outside fence. Pretty solid damage there for him, for Guerrero. For a bunch of these drivers, as the caution flag will come back out, and another restart is upon us as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to try to do this all over again. As Anna says, woohoo, Landon is moving up. Landon is definitely moving up. He has been inside our top 10 throughout this race, and now finds himself inside the top 4 here as Landon Burbage now into position number 4 here on the racetrack. Jacob Lee going to stay out for another caution flag here. Lee and Holloman now going to be our front row here for this next restart. Smith will now be in 3rd. Landon Burbage back in 4th as, and it was definitely a crazy restart right there. A lot of drivers unfortunately getting tore up, tied up, and ended up in a very, very bad position out there on the racetrack. But each and every one of them ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to battle here this evening, man. Who's going to get it done, man? Who's going to pick up the dub as 81 laps now complete? We'll click off lap number 82, this time by the start-finish line. The lights are still on the official iRacing pace car, so we'll get a quick word in here from our sponsors here on the amazing Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League.
Here at KK Woodscapes, we only work with the finest woods, the finest tools. We sand the wood here at KK Woodscapes. We stir the paint with a wooden stick here at KK Woodscapes. And then we brush the wood with a wooden brush here at KK Woodscapes. And when it's all said and done, we have these perfectly manicured nails. Put the plaques in the trophies, in the envelopes, ship them to your box, and on your way to you to commemorate your special day. Got wood. KK Woodscapes. Here at KK.
Alrighty, here we go. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing here this evening with about 58 laps left of racing action here this evening. We 57 this time by the start finish line as we go back to green flag racing here at Auto Club Speedway. And here in the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League, man, already our 7th caution flag out there on the Speedway. Still a lot of action, still a lot of laps left to go here for these drivers. Be nice to see some good hard green flag laps being laid down. It would be cool to see some green flag pit stops here as well, as pit road can definitely be very, very treacherous and could make or break your day. A pit road speeding penalty could definitely cost you a solid finish, maybe even a race win here this evening. So it'll be interesting to see who is able to get down and off of pit road easily this afternoon and put themselves into a good position and maybe even gain some positions down pit side here through green flag pit stop. So we'll have to wait and see if that arises. Here we go, another restart. 21 ride waiting a little longer in the box there, gets a late jump again. The 77 of Caleb Holloman says, I ain't waiting, we're past, we're out of the restart zone, it is time to go, and he puts his foot quickly into the throttle and will drag race the 21 back down into corner number 1 on the speedway. And for the 77, he set it in there deep, trying to beat the 21 right at Jacob Lee down into corner number 2. Unfortunately, could not carry all that momentum that he was hoping for, and Jacob Lee able to slide back up in front of him, clears him down the back straightaways. Holloman all over his back bumper, but here comes Mr. Smith right there into the battle, as we did see another driver down on the apron right here trying to get that car rolling. I'm not sure who that was. Looks like it was the 88 ride of Austin Guerrero. Unfortunately, looks like Guerrero still with some very solid right front damage there off that restart. He's going to end up back down pit side here, making another pit stop here this afternoon, as we did see Grant Applegate also going for a slide here. No caution flag, but Applegate, oh, baby, looks like he's going to get some help here. He's up on the high side. Perriman's down on the bottom, and I believe Perriman just comes up the racetrack here, ends up getting a piece of him, hooks that 57 down into the infield there, and Applegate does a little bit of landscaping down and out of corner number 4 here this evening. As here we go, you're going to watch the 99 right here, just continue to push up the racetrack here, tight, continues to push up. Applegate's got virtually nowhere else to go here. He's already up at the fence. And finally, they make contact on the exit of corner number 4. It hooks that 57 down the speedway into the infield here. And this is where he goes for a little landscaping work down here at Auto Club Speedway. Car finally comes to a rest. Unfortunately, no one else coming at him, so no caution flag. It stays clean and green. He's able to get rolling back out there on the racetrack. He's still in the lead lap, still very much in this race, but obviously a huge loss of track position out there on the speedway, as he rolls back now currently in the 28th spot on the speedway. But out in front, it's Joseph Smith. Smith has got the race lead. Jacob Lee falls back to second. Holloman there in third, with Wyatt Mickelson, Nick Biddy rounding out our top 5. Landon Burbage into 6 with Michael Durham Jr., Tim Abril, Logan Perriman, and now Joe David up inside our top 10 is Austin Thompson there in 11th. Matthew Wood back in position number 12, trying to navigate his way back up towards the front of the field. You see TJ Ivey, Ryan Haller, Aiden Lucas all right here in this battle, as they're beating and banging, battling back to the start-finish line, as they'll complete lap number 87 here this evening. So 87 laps completed. 53 laps left to go here this afternoon, as we jump in to our Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers here this evening as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a beautiful crank it up session bringing you guys the sights and sounds here at Auto Club Speedway's Matthew Wood has the top spot. He's out in front in the Racers for Christ number 16 ride, looking to try to run away with this one as we're starting to see more and more drivers run into issues. Tires starting to fade away. Green flag pit stops on the horizon for a lot of our front runners here this afternoon as Matthew Wood continues to show them how to get it done here in this one. Wood out in front leads the charge here at Auto Club Speedway, trying to keep these drivers back there at bay and trying to keep himself up here at the front of the field as Nick Biddy having himself a great run here. Biddy's in third, Biddy's in second. Joseph Smith is in that third position. They have themselves about a 1.2 second gap between themselves and our pole sitter here this evening, the number 34, Aiden Lucas, back up into position number 4 here. So Aiden, after getting tied up, getting tore up in one of those caution flags, the 34 ride has gotten this car repaired, fixed back up, and trying to bring the wheel-to-wheel racing league. Number 34, back up to the front of the field here. He's got Jaden Browder right there with him. Browder up inside the top 5 here as TJ Ivey having himself a great run for Terrence Murphy here this evening. Finds himself in that 6th position with Wyatt Mickelson there in 7th. Holler's in position number 8. Evan Stewart's up and inside the top 10. He rolls there in 9th. And then we do see Tim Abril rounding out our top 10 here on the speedways. We do see Joseph Smith working his way down pit road. So Smith making a little bit earlier of a pit stop over the rest of our race leaders here. See if that kind of gives him an edge, gives him an advantage here, or maybe puts him at the front of the field late in this race. TJ Ivey also down pit side. Stephen Blevins, Brian Matthews, Trent Johns, Jack Buelty, who we saw go for a slide down through the infield grass there, doing a little landscaping just at the end of that crank it up. He's back here and down pit side here himself. We also see Mike Corvo down pit side, getting some work done to the 97 ride, ready to roll back out on the speedway. We did see Jacob Lee back on lap 105 come down pit side for Caleb Hall. He was also down pit side on lap 101. Logan Perriman's down pit road here. He scored back in the 28th position. And it's Virgil Perriman, Austin Guerrero. Looks like Austin Guerrero done for the day here after lap number 82. That contact and damage that he received, unfortunately, has him down and out of this race. Scored back in that 30th position. Virgil Perriman, though, a couple laps down, back in the 29th position on the speedway, trying to battle his way back up. As here we go, more drivers down pit side. Here is Mickelson, Tim Abril, Ryan Haller, Michael Durham Jr., and Joe David, all making their green flag pit stops here this evening, as waiting still for our race leader, though, Matthew Wood, the number 32, and Nick Biddy, Aiden Lucas, who's reeling them in back there in that 3rd position. Browder's right there with them, looking really, really strong here late in this run. When do they finally decide to head down pit side and make what could be their final pit stop here this evening, as we do see Jace Laforte's down pit road. He'll bring this Fish Speed Brakes 09 ride down into his pit stall. And now here comes Nick Biddy, our 2nd place driver. Comes down pit road here on lap 113. So giving himself what would virtually be, a 27-lap run to the checkered flag here with some potential fresh tires. Fuel in the ride is Evan Stewart, Landon Burbage. Here's the 61 of Thompson down pit side, and Jaden Porter also headed down pit road. We do see Joe David. Unfortunately, it looks like Joe David had earned himself a black flag. Too fast entering pit road. Unfortunately, making an additional pit stop here. We're having to serve this penalty. A whole down pit lane here in his pit stall. This is going to put Joe David back a ton. We also saw Virgil Perriman back down pit side there as well. He's going to unfortunately still be a few laps down, as now Jaden Browder works his way down pit side here. Nick Biddy just getting done his pit stop, as here comes Nicholas Wheeler in cahoots here in the substitute driver position for Xavier Rungle Brungy, as the 5 ride heads down pit side. Will make his pit stop. Austin Thompson right there with him, headed down pit road in that Black Honey Barbershop number 23 ride. And now here we see Applegate. He's headed down pit side. He's going to get checked up there. You do not want to get caught speeding down pit road. That will put you more than likely a lap down and potentially, out of contention of this feature event. Is now here comes our race leader, Matthew Wood. Matthew heads down pit side here, pitting after 115 laps of racing action. So he is going to have about 25 laps left to go here in this feature event as he heads down across the start-finish line right there. So 25 laps left to go here in this one. Aiden Luke is going to pit right there with them, coming down pit side at the same time as Matthew Wood, hoping to be on the same strategy, the same game plan, and hoping to be there to battle with Matthew Wood. And there's a big mistake into the 16 ride, and it looked like Aiden Luke is going to do the same thing. They both go too far into their pit stalls here and they actually overshoot it. And they got to throw it in reverse. They got to flip it in, reverse it here, and quickly get into their stall for the crews to go to work. They both do a quick job at it. The crews go to work here. Unfortunately, that may cost them a second or two out there on the racetrack, and that could be the difference maker between winning this race or not this afternoon. Is Joseph Smith. He pitted first here. He's out in front. He does have about 5 lap older tires than Wood and Lucas here. He's got 4 lap older tires than Jaden Browder, and Browder's trying to hunt him down. Nick Biddy there in third. He's got 3 lap better tires than Joseph Smith, but a lap older tires than Jaden Browder. We'll have to wait and see if that makes a difference here late in this race and working these guys into potentially victory lane as Matthew Wood. See the gap here, pitting this much later here compared to Jaden Browder, maybe even just that mistake down pit road, sliding through their pit stall. He is about 3 seconds back of our race leader, 2 seconds back of Joseph Smith, about 2.6 seconds back of Nick Biddy here. So unfortunately, he's got quite a bit of ground to make up. So doesn't Aiden Lucas, but Aiden with a great pit stop there was able to kind of gain a lot of time there on Matthew Wood and sticking right there with that number 16 ride as they'll try to hunt down the 3 cars in front of them and try to battle their way back to the front of the field. This TJ Ivy rolls there in that 3rd position. Jacob Lee back in 7th. Ryan Haller has worked the 60 ride up and into the 8th spot on the speedway here. For Haller looking really, really strong here this afternoon. Stephen Blevins now into 9th with Evan Stewart battling down to his inside. It's a great battle for the 9th and 10th position. Tim Abril back there in 11th, having a great run for Colby Wells this afternoon. Just outside the top 10 here on the speedways. Austin Thompson, Brian Matthews working there to his back bumper. Nicholas Wheeler, good run brewing here for Xavier Rugglebrug. He's a substitute driver as well this afternoon. Scored back in that 14th position. Wyatt Mickelson, unfortunately, not the best pit stop here during those green flag stops, and for the 51 ride end up losing quite a few positions and now just trying to hang on and battle here for position number 15 on the speedway. Has Thompson right there to his inside. Unfortunately could not hang with him on corner exit, and the speed down the front straightaway is Jack Buelty trying to battle his way back after going through a little landscaping duty down through the infield not too long ago. The 67 rolls there in 17th. Trent Johns, Landon Burbage, Michael Durham Jr. our top 20 out there on the speedway. Grant Applegate there in 21st with Jaden Porter, Mike Corvo, Jace Lafort now scored back in 24th. Chess Hamby, Caleb Holloman, Logan Perriman, Joe David, our top 28. Virgil Perriman scored back in 29th, and then unfortunately, everyone else outside our top 29 down and out here this evening. 6 drivers looking like they're going to get DNFs here this evening for Austin Guerrero, Jordan Fisher, Nick Jensen, Michael Ponder Jr., Darren Engler, and Jason Bogart. Early exit for all 6 of those drivers that unfortunately scored outside our top 30 here this evening, as unfortunately for those guys, not the run that they were hoping for, but the run that this guy was hoping for. Jaden Browder out in front, down across the line. Only 20 laps left to go here. 20 more laps left to duke it out here from Auto Club Speedway. And for Jaden Browder, he's got the top spot, man. He's got to be feeling A-okay here at the front of the field as he's pulling away from Joseph Smith. You do see Nick Biddy trying to work his way around this number 31 ride, trying to steal that second spot on the speedway. And as they continue to battle door to door, it may allow this 16 ride of Matthew Wood to just reel them in here and catch up to their back bumper, as you do see Wood starting to pull away here from Aiden Lucas. Aiden can't quite hang there with him as Matthew Wood trying to hunt down our top three out there on the speedway, trying to see if he can work himself back out in front of the field here. As he came out of the pits, he was about 3.2 seconds back of the race lead. He's now about 2.5 seconds back of the top spot here, so he has gained a bit of time back. Obviously going to need a whole lot more though late in this race, and he may be running out of time here sooner than he imagined, so he's going to have to pick up that pace and try to gain a lot of time back here to run down and hunt down Jaden Browder, Nick Biddy, and that 31 of Joseph Smith. I think you'll have no problem chasing down Smith here with 5 lap older tires than the 16 ride. He should be able to reel in that 31 ride in a quick hurry, but how much of a gap will Jaden Browder and Nick Biddy be able to have, and how much will Smith and Biddy kind of hold him up and potentially cost him more time out there on the racetrack, trying to work his way back to the point here late in this race. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are just tuning in and you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor right now. It's absolutely free to do. Helps us out a ton. Hit the like button on the broadcast for us right now. Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today, as Jaden Browder out in front of the field here looking for a big checkered flag here. And I believe what is now race number 6 on the season. Yeah, our 6th race of the season already here for the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. And for Jaden Browder, he's got the top spot late in this race and hoping to try to run away with it, but Nick Biddy's trying to reel him in. Joseph Smith right there as well. And there's the caution flag that I don't think anyone in our top 3 wanted to see, as the yellow flag will be displayed. It looks like issues here for Nicholas Wheeler. Substitute driver there for Xavier Rungo-Brugge, and the number 71 of Brian Matthews. Looks like they're going to run into issues here. Let's take a look back at it as, all right, here we go. You see the 5 ride. Wheeler down to the inside here of Matthews. They're door to door down across the start-finish line, and just kind of get tied together, and as they get hooked together, it shoots the 71 right around. He backs it into the outside fence as the number 5 goes down through the infield here and goes for a couple loop-de-loops there. Let's take another look at a different angle here and see that contact. If the 5 right kind of comes up, if the 71 kind of comes down, obviously tight racing, and drivers trying to get everything they can in that little bit of side draft may have been the difference maker here down across the start-finish line, as the 71 running up by the outside fence here. Take a look at the black line right there, and I believe you're going to see the 71 ride kind of move down out there on the racetrack. So if you follow the virtual, I don't know what you would want to call it. Is that like a concrete crack or just a driving line, a weeper lane there for rain or anything else out on the racetrack? The 5 right kind of dips below it right here prior to the contact. So the 5 right is moving down even before they kind of make a little contact. Comes up a little bit right there, but then starts to come down, and the 71 comes down as well. Crosses that black line and unfortunately ends up into that front bumper of the 5 ride. They make contact, and that's how it gets started. 71 comes down across the nose of the 5 of Nicholas Wheeler here this afternoon. Wheeler just trying to hang on to it, trying to keep it rolling here. Obviously comes back in onto the racetrack, goes for another loop-de-loop right there. Luckily enough, did not collect any other drivers here. Same with that 71 machine, and that could have definitely tore up a whole lot more drivers out there on the speedway, as he was sideways there in the middle of the racetrack. Luckily enough, a good gap between themselves and a few more of those drivers where no one else gets collected. But a late race caution flag brings pretty much everybody down pit road here. Oh, baby, here we go. Pit strategy time. Who's going to take advantage of it, as Ryan Haller stays out. Okay, so Ryan Haller stays out, does not come down pit road. Ryan Haller is going to be our race leader here for this late race restart. Now, I'm not sure if there's fresh tires going on the cars back behind him here, if they're making these pit stops, as Nick Biddy will come out of the pits for what would be virtually the race lead here if that 60 ride didn't stay out. So, playing it back here, take a look at Biddy. I believe Nick Biddy goes for 2 tires only here. You see this right side kind of get jacked up. They're going to put 2 tires on, And that's all he's going to get here. Let's take a look at, the 51 ride, some of these other drivers out there on the racetrack, because I believe Jaden Browder, he gets 4 tires. Jack Bulty here, he goes for a 2-tire stop as well. Joseph Smith, I believe Smith may have only taken 2 tires. Nope, Smith gets 4 tires. See that left side getting jacked up there for that number 31 ride. Matthew Wood getting 4 tires. Aiden Lucas getting 4 tires here. So a lot of different pit strategies here for a bunch of these drivers, and that's going to make this restart very, very interesting. Obviously, no new tires here for Ryan Haller. Nick Biddy with 2 tires. Jaden Browder with 4. He'll be restarting in third. Jack Bulty with only 2 tires. The 31 of Smith with 4 tires. Wood with 4 tires. None of these other drivers with 4 tires up inside our top 10, but for Ryan Haller, Nick Biddy, Jack Bulty, man, it's going to be a handful to hang on and hold these guys off late in this race, but we'll have to wait and see if this strategy plays out into their favor and puts them maybe into a winning situation and a winning position late in this race, as Ryan Haller will be the control car. We'll go back to green flag racing here with only 13 laps left to go in this feature event. So 13 more laps left to duke it out here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here you go. So we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. What do you guys think? Do you think we see another caution flag? Do we see this stay clean and green here to the end? Let us know in the comments section. What do you think? Do you think we see another yellow flag here late in this race and maybe even a little NASCAR overtime here this evening? We're about to find out. Is the pace car going to make that hard left-hand turn? Nope, never mind. Looks like pace car is going to stay out here. We're going to get extended yellow. So an extra lap added on here as you see Mike Corvo. He's going to head back down pit side. Holloman, all these guys are lined up. They're ready to go. Joe David heads down to his pit stall. We are going to get an extended yellow here, so that's going to at least click off another lap, and that's going to give us 12 laps now to the checkered flag, as we'll get a quick word in here from our sponsors here this afternoon, as Anna says, 2 more cautions. 2 more cautions, she says. She's got no faith in the fellows here this evening. She thinks they're going to stack them up and rack them up here this evening and cause a couple more caution flags. We'll have to wait and see.
Here at KK Woodscapes, we only work with the finest woods, the finest tools. We sand the wood here at KK Woodscapes. We stir the paint with a wooden stick here at KK Woodscapes. And then we brush the wood with a wooden brush here at KK Woodscapes. And when it's all said and done, we have these perfectly manicured nails. Put the plaques in the trophies, in the envelopes, ship them to your box, and on your way to you to commemorate your special day. Got wood, KK Woodscapes. Here at KK Woodscapes.
Alrighty, here we go. Back to green flag racing. 12 laps left to go here as we hit that start-finish line. Old tires, no tires, 2 tires, a lot of different strategy being played out here throughout the field. We'll see how it all works out as Haller down through that Geico restart zone gets a great launch, great restart. He quickly clears that 32 right of Nick Biddy, slides up in front of that 32 machine and sends it down into corner number 1. But here comes Biddy, here comes Browder down to the inside there, door to door, down and out of corner number 2, and this corner exit may be where the difference is made between keeping this top spot or giving it up here late in this race, as the pit strategy is definitely going to affect this 60 ride. Obviously older tires here for that number 60 ride. He's going to have his hands full late in this race, as here comes Wood slicing and dicing his way through the field, as I believe we're going to see the caution flag come back out. So the caution flag does get displayed again here late in this race, and I believe we're going to see Virgil Perriman in the Folgers, number 18. We're going to run into some issues here, and unfortunately kind of right in the battle, even though he's 5 laps down out there on the racetrack. I mean, he's kind of right in the middle of a 3 wide, 4 wide fight here, and it looks like they're just going to run out of room as the 61 right of Thompson's going to get a piece of him here. sure we're going to see the 61 kind of push up the racetrack. It looked like he was already kind of pinned up against the wall there if you were the 18 ride. So you're going to watch the 61 kind of come up, make contact with that left rear quarter panel, hooks and spins. That Folgers right around, nowhere to go for Joe David as he gets a piece of him, drives right on into that 18 ride, but that's where we see the caution flag come back out as another late race restart, another caution flag, and we'll see if there's any more tankers down pit road if anyone else decides to make some strategy calls here in this one. As Mrs. Holler says, oh my God, she says, yeah, Holler's right up there, right in the thick of it. Unfortunately, got much older tires than the drivers here in front of him, and it's going to be very, very tough for him to not only hang on to this track position, but to try to finish off this feature event. I think that caution flag may have saved him at least a little bit here, that he's going to be able to kind of, hang on a little bit longer than I think he was anticipating, as Anna says, that's one. That's one, she says. That is one. That is one. We're definitely going to count it. So there's one yellow flag, and Anna's, only one caution flag away from being right on her assumption here this evening and her guess on how many yellow flags we're going to have late in this race. And here we go. One down. One more to go for Miss Anna to be right here this afternoon, as it's still definitely very much a possibility. I mean, we're going to get back to green flag racing with probably about 7-8 laps left to go here in this feature event. And, I mean, the intensity level is just going to continue to ramp up. The nerves, the drive for each and every one of these competitors. I mean, the intensity level, you can already feel it here, man. It is getting wild. And for all these drivers, they know that they're running out of time if they want to get a good finish. And even for drivers like Matthew Wood or Aiden Lucas, Joseph Smith, they want to get back to the front of the field here and get a good solid podium run. They need to pick up that pace and try to find everything they can here on these restarts to try to put themselves up and into potentially the winning position late in this race. For Jaden Browder, man, Browder early on served a black flag penalty, almost went a lap down out there on the racetrack. He was able to keep himself on the lead lap, but didn't get anything out of that first stage. Throughout stage number 2, he worked his way back up through the field, ended up with a pretty solid run there in our second stage of the day. And then here in this final run, man, Browder's just been continuing to get faster and faster and navigating his way to the front of the field there. Landed a lot of laps prior to this caution flag back on lap 125. And now things are going to get a little bit more crazy for him as he's got the race lead late in this race. He'll be looking to try to hold these guys off and put himself up and into victory lane. Now he's going to have, on this restart, he's got Matthew Wood on his back bumper. Aiden Lucas there as well. Outside lane, pretty stacked up. Down low, you got Nick Biddy, obviously on 2 tires. The 60 ride of Ryan Haller on no tire since his green flag pit stop back on lap 111. So he's got about 15, 16 lap old tires out there on the speedway, rolling there in third. Buelty also took 2 tires during that pit stop, so obviously a whole lot less tire down low on that inside lane. We'll have to wait and see how this restart plays out for them. Obviously, Browder felt more comfortable taking the outside groove, having Matthew Wood, Aiden Lucas there on his back bumper, pushing him here on this restart to try to get that advantage down to corner number 1 to try to stay out in front of Nick Biddy and Ryan Haller here on this restart. As here we go. Down and out at corner number 4. The pace car will make that hard left-hand turn back down pit side. Here we go, 8 laps left to go, back to green flag racing for what could be our final restart of the evening. And each and every one of these drivers is going to be looking to get everything they can, and here we go. Big jump, big launch there for the 11 ride of Jaden Browder, and that's exactly what Browder wanted to see, but now he's got Matthew Wood all over his back bumper. Heads up here with the 16 ride. He'll have to try to find his way, obviously, to keep himself out in front and keep this 16 machine back there at bay. Here comes Aiden Lucas. Ivy's right there as well. TJ Ivy, substitute driver here for Terrence Murphy this afternoon. And here he is late in this race. Has worked that 24 ride up and inside our top 5 here on the Speedway. Is Jack Buelty, the 60 of Ryan Haller. Joseph Smith right there trying to get to the outside of Ryan Haller. Ends up into the outside fence. Pretty solid contact there into that outside wall as well for the 31 ride. We'll have to wait and see if that affects his car and potentially hinders his performance here late in this race. But Matthew Wood trying to work his way back out in front, but Jaden Browder doing a fantastic job keeping him back there at bay. Excuse me, chat. We're still somewhat sick. We still got a little bit of a cough here. It's still kind of lingering on us, but here we go. Matthew Wood down to the inside, looking to take a run here on Jaden Browder. They're so close down and out of corner number 4. Somehow or another, no contact made. Browder, though, with that outside momentum, able to keep that race lead, and with only 6 laps left to go here, trying to keep that 16 rider Matthew Wood back there at bay. But both drivers last time by ran their quickest laps of this race, a 39:45. Both drivers ran identical lap times there on that lap, and for Jaden Browder and Matthew Wood, man, they are two ponies that are just putting everything together late in this race, trying to put themselves potentially into the winning situation. But now here comes Aiden Lucas right into the battle. Aiden down to the inside here on Matthew Wood, trying to take that second spot away from the 16, and that's exactly what Jaden Browder wants to see late in this race. If they continue to duke it out for position number 2, if they get battling here for the second spot on the Speedway, could open up the door for him to pull even farther away from Wood and Lucas out there on the racetrack, as last time around he ran about a 1/10 quicker than Matthew Wood. So for Jaden Browder, he is edging out in front here. He is pulling away a little bit here over that 16 right of Matthew Wood, and Wood's got to know that he's running out of time. Is down and out of corner number 4, back down across the start-finish line. It is only 4 laps left to go, so 4 more laps left to duke it out. Browder, Wood, Lucas, Nick Biddy, our top 4 out there on the Speedway. TJIV there in that 5th position with Joseph Smith, Jack Buelty, Evan Stewart, Ryan Haller, Grant Applegate, our top 10 out there on the Speedway. Obviously for Haller, he's got no fresh tires here. He's just trying to hang on here in that 60 ride, hoping to come out of this with a top 10 run. Unfortunately, sitting there in that 9th position, has a lot of fast cars on his back bumper as he'll look to try to keep Applegate, Blevins, Durham Jr., Thompson, Johns, Burbage, all these cats back there behind him here to come home with a good, solid top 10 run. But out in front, Jaden Browder clicks off lap 137. We get 3 laps left to go, and Matthew Wood, man, after dominating and sweeping our 2 stages here this evening, the 16 ride late in this race, I don't know if it's just not having that clean air, not keeping up with the track changes, but for this Form Energy number 11 ride of Jaden Browder, he finds himself out in front, but a big run, big move down low for Matthew Wood. Oh, baby, he cut into it right there. Now trying to, swivel down the front straightaway here, trying to break a little bit of that draft, trying to take this run to open up that lead again. But obviously Matthew Wood setting in deep down into corner number 3 and 4 there, able to gain quite a bit, but unfortunately, how much did that cost him? How much tire did that burn up? And obviously now you see the 11 ride trying to pull away once again from the 16 ride of Matthew Wood. That may have to be a last lap move that he may have to pull to try to steal this race lead away from Jaden Browder. But here he comes once again, back down to the inside, trying to carry all that speed and momentum, trying to stay glued to the back bumper here of Browder as they battle back down the front straightaway. Browder, though, with that outside momentum, we'll see the white flag fly. So one more time around here for Jaden Browder and Matthew Wood as they look to duke it out here for the race win this afternoon. A little farther back, you do see Nick Biddy there in 3rd. TJ Ivy up and into position number 4 with Aiden Lucas, Joseph Smith, Jack Buelty, our top 7. You can throw a blanket over him, but out in front, a great lead down the back straightaway for the final time, down into 3, nice and easy, down and out of corner number 4. Wood won't get there as Jaden Browder will pick up the checkered flag here at Auto Club Speedway. Browder gets it done and pulls the 11 ride up and in to the winner's circle here this evening, man. What a run, what a drive, what a performance here for Jaden Browder as he picks up the dub over Matthew Wood, over Nick Biddy. And the rest of the field, man, what a performance for Mr. Browder this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys enjoyed that racing action and you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button on the broadcast, hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family here today, and make sure you guys jump into the comment section, man. Cheer these drivers on. Cheer on your favorite driver one more time here this evening, and make sure you congratulate our race winner, Jaden Browder, on the dub, man. What a run! What a drive, what a performance here this evening for Mr. Browder as he comes home with the win, able to hold off one of the best of the business to do it, Matthew Wood, and we'll see who, see what Jaden's got to say as we'll get ready to pull him and the rest of our top three up into the broadcast booth as Brian says he tried. Good finish, good tight battle there. That was a heck of a show, heck of a run there late in this race for Browder, Wood, Biddy, able to come home still with a third-place run. TJ Ivy, substitute driver here this afternoon for the 24 ride of Terrence Murphy. Terrence definitely chose a good driver to fill in his seat here this afternoon. If he was missing out here at Auto Club Speedway, man, definitely needed that extra help, and hey, man, ended up with a very good, solid run. Aiden Lucas there late in the race ended up falling back into that fifth position with Jack Buelty, Joseph Smith, Evan Stewart, Grant Applegate, and Ryan Haller rounding out our top 10. So Haller able to stick with it, still comes home with a very solid top 10 run here this evening. Shout out there to Mr. Haller. Evan Stewart with a good top 10 run himself here this afternoon as we'll get ready to pull Browder and the rest of our top three up here into the broadcast booth after a very, very fun feature event, man. These guys put on a heck of a show for us here this evening, man. That was a great show, great race, great battle. We'll get ready to pull them up here into the booth as not too sure where Browder's hiding. We'll see them jump into the waiting room here in just a couple more moments, and then we'll get them up here, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, we'll wait for them to get in here. They probably gotta go pee, probably gotta use the bathroom. I'm sure for Browder, he's probably trying to catch his breath, still celebrating, man, his big win there for Browder here this evening as Mrs. Haller says, top 10 run, Ryan, congrats. Crazy race tonight, crazy race. Crazy action, man. A lot of fun, though, and a lot of great battles out there on the speedway, as Rodney says. Good top 10, nephew Evan cheered on Mr. Stewart here this evening as, yeah, Rodney with a huge congrats there to the nephew here this evening as Evan comes home there with that 8th place run this afternoon as Haller says, got a top 10, brother, that's all you need, as he says, held on to a top 10 on old tires, used my last set, needed that to go green, then cautions, yeah, definitely needed that to go green, then cautions, that is for certain, and unfortunately, just did not play out that way, but man, heck of a run still for Mr. Haller. I mean, being able to hang on there with those, older tires there at the end and still being able to come home with the top 10 performance. Heck of a show there for him. Heck of a show there for the 60 ride here this evening. Let's see if we can just drag our race winner in here. We're just going to keep on dragging him down and in here. Where is Browder there? There he is. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner, Jaden Browder. Hey, Jaden, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Take it a copy?
Yes, sir.
Jaden, man, what a run, what a drive for you here this evening, man. Take us back through this one. It's obviously early on we see you have to serve a black flag penalty out of the get-go here. Luckily enough, you make a clean stop and you get down pit road. You don't lose a lap there in that first stage, but now stage number 2 rolls around. You got to make up a lot of track position. You make some moves. You're slicing and dicing your way through the field. You end up with a pretty solid run there in stage number 2, and then you're in this final stage, man. It's, again, just down to these pit stops and down to being at the right place at the right time and obviously jumping out in front. A good, clean pit stop coming down pit road a lap or 2 earlier. Then Matthew Wood gives you the race lead, and then obviously some late race caution flags. And somehow or another, though, you're able to just jump out in front. You got that clean air even in these closing 8 laps here. Matthew Wood all over your back bumper, but you're able to just carry that speed and momentum on corner exit, and Wood never able to work his way back around you as you pull yourself up and into the Auto Club Speedway victory lane. Man, take us back through this race, and what's going through your mind after a crazy 140 laps of racing action?
Yeah, I mean, after the first and second stage, I didn't think I had a chance. Had damage, drive through stuff like that. Didn't think I had a chance, but slowly got back up to the front, and car just felt better and better, especially on the long run. But didn't want to see that first caution because I felt like I had a big enough gap to where I could manage over Matthew. He was definitely faster, but I think I had a big enough gap. But once I got to clean air, just it's hard to pass a guy that has clean air, and Matthew raced me clean, so I appreciate that. So overall, good day.
Yeah, great things. You pull the 11 right up and into victory lane, and just in front of one of the best in the business. As man, Matthew was giving you a run for your money, especially down through 3 and 4. Man, he was sending it in there deep, washing up right to your left rear quarter panel. Luckily enough, no contact was ever made. But man, if he could have gotten that run, it would have been interesting to see if you guys would have battled door to door there. But just carrying all that speed and momentum, you just sized him up every single corner. You knew it was coming. You just made sure you hit your marks. He didn't make a mistake and didn't open up that door for him to slide in front of you to try to steal this race lead late in this feature event.
Yeah, I felt like I was better than him in 3 and 4. Just wanted to. He was miles ahead of me. The bottom was faster, but every time I go to the bottom, I was just too tight. So that last run, I was trying my best to run as fast on the bottom, but I was just destroying my right front. He was, I think, a little bit better overall, but just happy I could get it done for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. Finally able to find yourself up here into victory lane, man. How does that feel to kind of get that monkey off your back, being able to claim this dub here, in race number 6 on the season, and now you get to kind of focus a little bit more on, playoffs and trying to earn these bonus points and trying to obviously build up enough points that you can battle for this championship here in season 2 of the Wheel to Wheel Racing League.
Yeah, it definitely lifts a little bit of a weight off. I definitely need to be better through the first and second stage, and definitely in qualifying as well. So, but it's nice to get it done finally. So, yeah, just try and get as many points now.
Absolutely. Start stacking those pennies and trying to work yourself into contention here for the championship in 2026. As Jaden, congratulations on the top here this evening, brother. Who'd you like to thank for such a great performance out there on the racetrack?
I thank my teammates, Aiden and Matthew, helped me throughout practicing the week and honestly in the race, giving me advice and stuff like that through the race. So thanks to them.
Absolutely. Teamwork makes the dream work, and you park yourself up and into victory lane here at Auto Club Speedway. Jaden, congratulations on the dub here this afternoon, man. We can't wait to see you guys back in action again next Sunday, or I'm not sure if we're off next Sunday for Easter, but when we're back out there on the Speedway, man, we can't wait to see you in action and battling here at the front of the field.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your night and don't party too hard down there in victory lane.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for our race winner, Jaden Browder, as Jaden picks up the dub and pulls the number 11 into victory lane here this evening, as we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher, the 16 ride, Matthew Wood. Hey, Matthew, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy? Matthew, man, great run, great try for you here this evening. Obviously, being able to sweep our stages here this evening in stage 1 and stage number 2. And it looked like this 16 ride was absolutely a rocket ship here this afternoon. And I didn't think anyone was going to be able to beat you. I thought maybe for a little bit Fisher was going to give you a run for your money. I thought maybe Lucas could be there with you. And then all of a sudden, in this final stage of the day, man, Jaden Browder popped out of nowhere, and here late in this race, with some late race restarts, able to hold you off and able to steal this win away from you, man. Take us back through it. What's going through your mind?
First of all, congratulations to Jaden. I've actually known him for a very long time. I'm glad he's here, but I hate this place. I've lost multiple championships at this place. Um, I've learned Darlington, and this was my next worst track, so that I hate this place. But no, I think we had a very fast long run car, but there at the end, I got to figure out pit road because I've in total probably lost, I think, 180 positions throughout my leagues on pit road just this year alone. I can't either. I slide my box, I speed, or last night actually I just missed my box entirely. But um, I don't know. It's pit road. I got to figure out pit road something with me. But no, he was very quick. I didn't even really want to pass him there at the end. Even he was very quick. But my goal was going to be if us two got away, then sure we battle. But if we couldn't get away from the field, I was going to just straight up defend. I wasn't going to let anybody else but me or him win that race, and he ended up getting it. But we just got to thank Outlier and everybody else for supporting me, and we're going to next week.
Yeah, absolutely. On to next week, on to another race and another opportunity for you to jump up into victory lane here in the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. But tonight, man, it's Jaden Browder who's able to knock you off the top spot here, steal the top away from you, and you settle in for a second place run here at Auto Club Speedway. Matthew, anyone else you'd like to thank here for such a great run and great performance out there on the Speedway?
I got to thank all the admins for doing an incredible job. Everybody for racing respectful tonight. Thank Outlier for making the best setups on iRacing. You for what you do. Everybody that supports the Peacemaker channel. Thank God for sending Jesus Christ down for all of us, and we'll go on to next week. I led the most laps this week, but all came for second.
Absolutely, you gotta lead that most important one, and that's the final one. And unfortunately, here tonight, not able to do it as Browder steals a win from you, Matthew. Congrats on the second place performance, the great points day, nonetheless. And we'll see you back out there on the Speedway in the next one, and hopefully right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe one spot better and into victory lane.
Yep, thank you.
Absolutely, enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Mr. Matthew Wood, as Matthew comes home in position number 2. Solid run, solid drive there for that 16 machine, as we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher, the number 32 of Nick Biddy. Hey, Nick, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
I got you loud and clear, bud.
Nick, man, great run, great performance here this evening, man. It seemed like that 32 run was absolutely hooked up here this evening and right in the thick of it late in this race for the race win. Unfortunately, though, making that pit road call, going with the 2-tire stop over the 4 tires there, and just did not quite have enough to hang with Browder and Wood late in this race to duke it out there for the race win. But, brother, take us back through what's going through your mind here after 140 laps of amazing racing action.
Yeah, for sure. I took those two, trying to get a handful of spots. Felt like we had I don't know, like a 5th to 8th place car all night long, and just trying to throw something at the wall and hoping it sticks. I was really kind of hoping that those last 2 cautions wouldn't have come out. I feel like I would have had something for, I think it was Jaden there. I felt like I was running him down, but I guess some of the other guys had different ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. Some different ideas there, and obviously for yourself, I mean, so close to victory, so close to a dump here this afternoon, man. Obviously, take us back, through some of these stages, as it seemed like it took a little while to see this 32 run kind of work yourself up there into the battle. It kind of almost surprised us a little bit, as all of a sudden you just kind of popped up into the fight here at the front, and you were right there duking it out and slicing and dicing it with these guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's kind of my driving style. I'm kind of a hang around, and hopefully the runs go long, and I can start taking advantage of some of these guys that use their tires up earlier in the run. I'm never going to be able to run some of the times like Jaden and Matthew, and I mean even Aiden and some of these other guys. I'm just not that guy. But if we could have got some more long runs, I feel like I had a better chance at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Matthew was the same way there. He one of those longer late runs
Mm.
here and trying to work his way back around Jaden Browder as it just seemed like it was super hard to pass here, especially on kind of the short runs here this afternoon. And we saw Matthew there trying to steal the top spot away from Browder. Could never get the run to be able to do it. But for yourself, you actually kind of battle back into this third position there. Late in this race, it kind of seemed like you fell back into about the 4th, 5th spot there, able to work yourself back around Aiden Lucas and TJ Ivy into this third position. So you kind of got a little bit of a second life there, kind of battling your way back around these guys with the 2-tire stop there compared to 4 tires on the 24 and 34 ride.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, no, Aiden didn't just give that to me. I kind of had to earn that one a little bit, and I'm shout out to him, man. He raced me clean, and I tried to do the same, but that was a good couple of lap battle there.
Yeah, great late race battle, duking it out there for that third position. You're able to come away with it and finish out our podium here this evening at Auto Club Speedway, man. Heck of a run, heck of a show for you, Nick. Who'd you like to thank for such a great performance out there on the Speedway?
Yeah, for sure, man. I got to first of all, I got to shout out to my sponsors. Uh, uh, Grizzle Dirt Works. I'm so sorry, Dylan. I kept on wanting to say Dylan Dirtworks, but it's Grizzle Dirtworks in Dahlonega, Georgia. Check those guys out, man. I mean, if you need you need some land cleared or a house built, something like that, give those guys a shout. Also, check out Pilgrim Rentals. They're renting containers uh, for rent and for sale. Check those guys out on Facebook. Also, check out the oldest working mill in the state of Georgia, Nora Mill. Check out my buddy. Uh, uh, Joe Vandergriff. Appreciate those guys for letting me put it on the car, and appreciate all they do. Also, big shout out to the Sis Speed Shop guys, Chess, Joe David, and Mike Corvu. I'm so sorry, I'm terrible with names today. And I haven't got to talk to you this year, so you know what we got to do. I got to thank my one, the only, my beautiful smoking hot wife, Jessie Biddy. Thank you for watching. Thank you for allowing us to do this.
Absolutely. Always got to shout out the wife, man. It's a heck
Hey
of
man,
a
you got to
run,
do it.
heck of a drive for yourself here tonight, Nick. I'm sure, your wife and your kids are going to enjoy either, staying up to watch this or going back to watch it again tomorrow when you go to watch it yourself and enjoy some great racing, some great battling and watching that 32 ride work its way up here onto the podium, brother. Congrats on the great run. Congrats on the great race. And we can't wait to see you back in action and right back up here, hopefully, next Sunday, back up here into the podium, maybe even into victory lane yourself.
Hey, that'd be pretty nice, wouldn't it?
It would definitely be nice to see this 32 ride pick up another dub here in the Wheel to Wheel Racing League.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Absolutely, Mr. Nick. Enjoy the rest of your night, and congratulations again on that third place finish.
Yep. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place driver, Mr. Nick Biddy. As Biddy comes home here in position number 3, man. Great run, great drive there for that 32 ride, man. What a performance, what a run, what a drive here by each and every one of these drivers, man. That was a hell of a show that they put on for us here this evening. That's a heck of a battle, man. Heck of a performance by everybody here this evening. I mean, honestly, not too many caution flags. We saw a few issues out there here and there, a couple on those restarts as well. So, I mean, cautions breed cautions. It's bound to happen here, and a few yellow flags throughout the night after 140 laps of racing action here at Auto Club Speedway, man. A gunslinger here at the end. We thought maybe it would be between Fisher and Wood again, but it was all of a sudden between Jaden Browder and Matthew Wood, and Browder able to get the upper hand and park the 11 ride up and into victory lane, man. What a run, what a show, what a performance there for Jaden Browder. What a performance by all of these drivers, putting together another amazing race for us to enjoy here in the grandstands. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys help us out here. It's not too late to do so, even if you're rewatching the broadcast. Hit the thumbs up button on the stream right now. Hit the like button on the broadcast for us. Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peace Peacemaker family here today, and turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. We're going to call it there. We're going to call it a night there at that note and get ready for bed. We got work in the morning, and we'll be right back up here in the broadcast booth again tomorrow night. So hopefully we see you guys tuning in, showing the love, and enjoying some more amazing racing here on Peacemaker Gaming, as we'll be back up in the booth around 8 o'clock Eastern Time again tomorrow night for some more playoff racing with the Metalheads Truck Series, which is going to be another wild show, another great race from Iowa Speedway. Going to be a real fun one. Short track racing, man. It's going to be elbows up, beating and banger, fender banging, racing action, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully we'll see you guys back here in the booth cheering those drivers on. But thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in here this evening. We appreciate each and every single one of you showing the love already here this evening with the likes, the comments, the shares, man. Anyone coming in, hitting that subscribe button as well. Welcome to the Peacemaker family. And, man, we'll see you guys back in here in the next one. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Here at KK Woodscapes, we only work with the finest woods, the finest tools. We sand the wood here at KK Woodscapes. We stir the paint with a wooden stick here at KK Woodscapes. And then we brush the wood with a wooden brush here at KK Woodscapes. And when it's all said and done, we have these perfectly manicured nails. Put the plaques in the trophies, in the envelopes, ship them to your box, and on your way to you to commemorate your special day. Got wood, KK Woodscapes. Hearing.
Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, Peacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the ground stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checkered flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the ground stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy.